Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Fresh Prince CEO, and the video is called We're Losing Girls, Life is Getting Tough. Let's get into the video.
What's up, y'all? We are back. It is a beautiful day here in Miami, and the boy just came from the gym, about to be fresh and fit. There you go. No, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna go pick up Myron right now. He's at the gym as well, his gym. We're gonna get some healthy brunch. Our favorite spot, Pura Vida, in downtown. In the Miami Design District over there. But yeah, real talk, man. I'm hitting the gym, trying to be consistent as much as possible. I made it part of my lifestyle, so I'm getting some gains. You feel me? Losing some weight. Girls are telling me that I look better. My boys are saying I look more sturdier. You feel me? So like.
I know that the bloggy thing is very popular. I'm not really into it. I don't care much about people's lifestyles and what they're up to. I'm not really that, you know, kind of like gossipy and all that kind of stuff. I'm not that nosy. So I know this is probably very popular with a lot of people, but I like to get straight into information, and we're almost 2 minutes into the video, and I don't, like, he's telling me stuff that I don't care about.
Like, wait, let me see. My seatbelt isn't even on. Hold on. Y'all gonna make comments like, Fresh, put your seatbelt on. All right, bro. I'll put it on right now. Cool. But yeah. So what was it again? Oh yeah. So basically, I'm gonna pick up Myron, get some food real quick, and then today is a sunny ass day. Hey, real talk. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yesterday we were at a pool party. Today, who knows? I just get invites all the time now. And it's like, yo, Fresh, come pull up. I'm pulling up, man. But I might go to the pool, the W pool, or the beach. It just depends. What's up? But overall, guys, Miami is a vibe. Like, there's also something fun to do here. Girls are hot, the food is great, and man, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. Because honestly, bro, like, LA is cool, you know, Vegas is cool, but ain't nothing like Miami, baby. All right, guys, see you in a little bit. Just picked up Myron Gaines, man.
Okay, so again, that's another minute in. I don't know how this is relevant to the title.
And the Punisher himself.
What's up, guys? Just came from the gym. Had to get the gains going, so I'm here now. Time as fuck out here.
We just came from the gym, man. He went to LA Fitness, I went to my personal gym. But we're talking in the car, man, about these women in Miami, bro. And how small Miami really is, right? So, you know, we can talk to girls every single night on the show, pretty much. And we've found out a couple of things behind the scenes that we want to share with you guys real quick. So, just so you know, right, guys, as you see on the show all the time, most girls are dating the same type of guys. And for example, these girls, man, so some of them are like trapped, man.
All right, okay, we're getting into the video now. 3.5 minutes in. Let's see what he's just got to say again. Because when I watch stuff like that, I get a bit phased out. I can't watch things like when people are talking about things that I'm not interested in.
So just talk to them about that a little bit, man.
I won't go into details, but all I'm gonna say is you got to be the complete package, guys. You got to have your money right, be in shape, be confident, you know, be attractive overall. Because the thing is, if you lack in one thing, what's gonna happen is that weakness will come and bite you in the ass later.
Well, that's not true.
And I'll give you guys an example. Let's say you're a good-looking guy, but you're broke. Well, at some point, she's only gonna tolerate your handsomeness for a bit. You know, like you'll be the boy toy, whatever. And let's say she's paying all the bills, but you're an attractive guy, and like you got her like from a how do I say this, a physical standpoint. If you don't dominate through finances and leadership in general, regardless of how good looking you are, the time is ticking, guys, right?
Well, I don't think that, and I don't even think the good looking stuff is as relevant. Women come out with all this bullshit about all the things that they want in a man, the big list of all the stuff that they want. And he's kind of coming back and saying, you've got to do all those things in order to get with her. And I'm like, of course you don't. What, you think she's not having sex with somebody on a regular basis over a long period of time if they don't tick all those boxes? It's, you don't have to have all those things. Having all those things is nice. It's nice to look good, isn't it? It's nice to have money and options. It's nice to have freedom. It's nice to, you know, but it's nice to have a nice healthy body, but you should do all that for you, not for the girl. And this is where I think a lot of the stuff keeps coming down. Oh, you've got to be this, you've got to be that, you've got to be that for the girl. Fuck her, get rid of her. Who needs her?
Right? So she's gonna only tolerate that BS for so long. Women can say, "Oh, I wanna,"
It's not BS. Like, just because you're not Mr. Perfect, it doesn't mean it's BS.
for so long. Women could say, "Oh, I want a half and half and 50-50 partnership." It's all cap, bro. Most women really want to be taken care of, and most importantly,
Well, don't we all want to be taken care of in some way?
they want you to lead them in every aspect, to include finances. But it goes the other way around. Let's say you're ugly as hell, but you got your money on point, but you're not necessarily in shape. Well, you're providing the provisioning and the security, but
He's talking way too fast.
you're not necessarily arousing. She's going to go and find that arousing factor from somebody else.
Well, let her do it then.
So that's why you want to be a complete package. And the other
You want to be a complete package for yourself, not for anyone else.
reason why you want to be a complete package, again, guys, not for the girls, but so that you don't tolerate the bullshit that comes with the girls.
Well, you don't have to have a complete package to not tolerate bullshit. I won't tolerate bullshit. I don't have the complete package. I don't care.
Because women quickly find out when you have the complete package that, okay, most of these other guys aren't shit. And they're going to be more willing to follow your lead. This is when you can start putting rules in place like, yo, listen, I'm not going to be monogamous. Yo, I'm going to date other girls, etc., etc.
You don't have to have the complete package to specify what your rules for the relationship are. I don't understand why he's talking so fast. Half of what he's saying makes sense to me. The other half doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I thought this was meant to be on CEO. And yet we're looking at Maureen Gaines. I thought CEO was meant to be, this is his channel.
Etc. It sounds crazy to say it like that, but when you get yourself to a certain point, women will share you guys. I'm telling you. So work on yourself.
Well, why is that so important?
On yourself, not for the girls, but so that you can assert your dominance regardless, and you have a take it or leave it mindset. But you can only do that if you're high value.
Bam. Yo, go.
No, that's not true. You can't do that if you're only high value, especially if you define high value by Kevin Samuels, because very few men are high value compared to that. And just because you're technically high value in that sense doesn't mean to say you're high value in character. There's a lot of billionaires that are very beta, so I don't understand what this high value stuff means. It doesn't make any sense to me. What, you think that there weren't alpha men before high valueness? People didn't used to be millionaires and earning 10 grand a month or whatever the specifications are for it. You can leave girls at any time. You don't need to leave them only if you're high value. Look, the other thing as well is that your goal? Your goal is to make as much money as you can so you can attract a woman that's only with you for money, so that when she takes you to divorce court, she can take it all. It doesn't make any sense.
It's Unplugged Fit with 2 T's. As you guys know, like, you know, we have our DMs on Demand course. You know, I hate Instagram. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But
Down below
but I accept it. I accept it that it's a reality of how to get women in 2021. You have to leverage every single asset that you have as a man, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're cold approaching, whether you're using, you know, online dating apps, whatever it is, you got to use everything in your repertoire to get these women in 2021. And yeah, man, if you got clout, leverage that shit too. Like, people try to hate on us, like, oh, you'll get a girl just because of clout.
Bro.
Why does everyone keep doing that voice all the time? I don't know what that's meant to be. Is it meant to be like a seal or something? Do seals watch this show?
Bro, use what you have, bro.
We were grinding, gang. Yo.
How do I get a female seal? You got to be a seal that's earning 20 grand a month for 3 years straight before you can get a seal. Fucking hell.
Real talk, you guys want to know something? We were getting more girls before the fame.
Exactly.
Real talk, like, I'm
way
telling
more.
You, we're going on
Think
double
about it.
dates.
So the voice is become rich and famous to get more girls. And then in the next breath, you're saying that you have less girls now that you become rich and famous.
We're going on, Fresh was going out with 2 girls a day, 3 girls a day.
Yeah, yo.
We were sending out double dates almost every single night, bro. You guys go look back at our old Patreon stuff.
Yep.
We were filming double dates all the
Back
time.
to back.
We can't do that shit no more.
And you know the funny part? We're saying shit that literally women don't want to hear. So, if anything, the
We've
clout...
lost girls.
Yeah, the clout is even like a...
Yeah, that's why I never wanted to be famous, and I really appreciate anonymity. I love it.
Is even like a detriment to us, because now it's like we're famous for certain things that women don't want to hear.
It's the wrong clout, guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So
like, you guys don't understand. Like, girls meet us now, and they're like, oh, you guys, those misogynists with the podcast.
Exactly.
Oh, or even worse in Miami. Oh, my girl told me don't come on your podcast. Or, oh, you guys are jerks and blah, blah, blah. You made my friend
Telling
cry.
you.
Every time, bro, like, they'll know who we are or whatever. So if anything, we get less girls now than before because
Yeah, but that might be a good thing.
we don't have time like that anymore,
don't.
guys. For anyone that's good with women, you already know it takes forever to, like, you know, get the leads, source the leads, go out there, send out a bunch of messages, set up dates, go on to dates, try to close, all this shit. It takes a lot of time. We don't have that time no more, guys.
Yep.
So we're, as a byproduct of our success, we've lost girls. Like,
Yep.
So for you guys to sit there and say, you guys are just leveraging clout. Damn right we're gonna do it because we don't.
Take a breath, man. Take a breath. Calm down. It's all right. Don't worry. It'll be all right. You'll get a girlfriend.
Because we don't have time like that to run around and cold approach chicks anymore, guys.
Facts. And actually, when you earn the right to do that, you should do it because guess what?
Facts.
Your time is very important now.
I don't like this fax thing. Every time I hear the word fax, I know loads of people are doing it nowadays, but I just think of like a fax machine, like a fax is coming through.
Facts. And actually, when you earn the right to do that, you should do it because guess what?
Facts.
Important now. And just to add to the point earlier, I can't tell you guys how many girls we know, bro, that like they're dating a man that literally is lacking in one or two areas. Like for example, they may be good looking, but they got no money, or they might have some money, but they're not good looking, or they're not in the gym. And look, even me, man, I'm in the gym now like crazy because I'm understanding. You know what? I need to level up my fitness because it's a total package. So overall, guys,
A total package for whom? If I want to get fit, I'll get fit. If I want to be fat, I'll be fat. And if I do those things, I'm doing it for me, for nobody else.
but in reality, we need the full package. I'm telling you right now, you kind of dominate the space because what happens is you'll be lacking in one or two areas, and she's on social media looking around like, okay, who's this person? Who's that person? Damn, my man doesn't have that. My man doesn't have this.
I've been broke, fat, unemployed, and living in a van. And that's when I was dating the most. And I've been employed, doing something that I really enjoy. And I've had a six-pack, earning good money, doing what I love, and I didn't date at all. I don't understand the link. I don't understand what they're saying.
I'm not saying she's all gonna act on it, on those, on those feelings, but it's still there deep down. So I'm just saying, look, be the full package, the best that you can be. Obviously, you can't be like a Dan Bilzerian or.
I had nothing, and yet I was going on 3 dates a day.
Look, be the full package, the best that you can be. Obviously, you can't be like a Dan Bilzerian or like, a Myron Gaines, but you can be yourself. And when I say yourself, I mean you can be the total package of fitness, mindset, and also finances, man. So
Those are things that
Well, look, there's a good example. Look, I've been filming this video and I went out and bought a nice light and the bulb's just gone on it while I've been filming this video. So I've turned it off, so I'm just turning the normal light on and got the natural sunlight through the window. My microphone's still working. So it'd be like me coming on and saying, well, you can't make a YouTube video unless you've got this lighting or that lighting. It's like, I can turn it off. People will still, as long as there's some light, people will still pay attention to the video. As long as you've got some money, it doesn't matter. As long as she's attracted to you, it doesn't matter if you're handsome or not. So again, I don't understand all this.
you guys can control. You can't control your height, but you can definitely control your fitness, your confidence, your financial situation, all of that. You got to maximize things in your that are within your reach, you know what I'm saying, that you can control.
And I do agree with that, but you just do it for yourself. You don't do it for the girls.
And the other thing too, guys, a little dark secret that I'll give you guys. You want your girl to appreciate you more? Make sure that you have all your shit together. Go meet her friends, okay? Then what's gonna happen is she's...
This is so wrong. Like, if you have a girlfriend and she has friends, the fact that your girlfriend has friends is a red flag. So if she has friends, they're a problem.
She's gonna introduce you to her friends. They're gonna be like, oh shit, and you have that calm, collected, masculine presence.
That calm, collected, masculine presence. I wonder what that feels like.
Presence. You know, you're dictating situations. We even tell her friends, hey, we're gonna go do this, whatever. And you assert that dominance over her friends. They're gonna be like, damn. And then she's gonna notice that her friends are gonna like you.
He's so highly strung, isn't he?
Like, damn. And then she's gonna notice that her friends are gonna like you, and then that's gonna make her like you even more. Guys,
who cares if she likes me even more?
Guys, women are hive-minded creatures. They're not leaders. They're fucking followers, bro. I don't care what anybody says. They're followers. If her friends start to find you attractive, you best believe she's gonna be on her best behavior when she deals with you, because women know deep down that their friends are not to be trusted, bro. Some of the worst relationships that go down with breakups always come with her close friends, man. So use that.
That's what I just said, yeah.
Use that. Use her friends to your advantage. I know that's an evil, manipulative technique.
But
Women respect you when other women want to be with you, bro. They're hive-minded creatures. They don't think like us. They need approval from other people. Pre-selection is the strongest tool. There's a reason why ugly rappers like Lil Baby smash all the girls.
Yep.
Pre-selection, okay? And
Yes, but what I'm saying is I'm pre-selecting them. I don't care if they're pre-selecting me.
selection, okay? And social status. All the girls want to smash him, so that means the other girls are going to want to smash him.
guys, this is brought to you by Range Rover Talks. In the Range Rover, which is our own Range Rover, man, because we work hard, bro. We built up our credit. Also, as well, guys.
We can pay this shit off, by the way, right now for you fucking haters, man. We've had some good. We could pay this shit off right now.
Gotta move.
Yeah, again, I don't care if they can pay for a car or not. I bought a van. I mean, it's irrelevant. I don't understand all this. It's probably a different world to me. Like, this is just so alien to me, this lifestyle and this way of living and caring so much about what other people think. I find it a bit ridiculous.
Now,
Gotta move smart, man. And also, what's coming in October, man? Man, it's gonna be crazy. Guys, you know what? I'm gonna end it here, but
there's some game for you guys, man.
yeah, some free gems right there.
CEO Vlogs.
There you go.
Subscribe to the channel if you're not already.
It's a bit like, you know, if you've got a client or something like that, you know, if you've got a group of people that you serve, it doesn't matter how other businesses run their business. As long as you've got customers that you can pay your bills with, what does it matter? It's the same with women. It's sort of like if you've got a girl that loves you, all the other stuff doesn't matter. And it is difficult to find a girl that loves you, I will say that. It's difficult for guys to get a decent girl, but it's also difficult for girls to get a decent guy. Because survival and reproduction of all species, not just you know, human beings who are primates, is difficult. Life is difficult. So I agree that life is unfair and it's disproportionate, but you don't have to be perfect. You know, you don't have to have all the areas of your life in place in order to be attractive. Because what happens if you lose one of those areas? What if you no longer have a six-pack? What if you age, which you're going to do? What if you lose all your money and she's with you for the money? Then where are you? You want a ride or die girl that's going to be with you through the ups and the downs. Like, why would you not want that? You want a girl that's going to be with you because it's you.
There you go.
Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like the
And
goddamn
also,
video.
go to our main channel, the podcast channel, where you can hear all these facts and more for an hour plus. And I'm
So
telling you
many
right now, guys,
facts.
the podcast is blowing up. We're almost at 300K. Go there right now, open up a new tab, pause, sub to that channel, and the Clips channel as well.
Bro,
if you want.
85% of them are not subscribed. I
Yeah.
was just looking at it today. 85% of the people that watch the Clips channel are not subscribed. Guys, subscribe to the
Guys.
channel.
Yeah, you have that a lot with YouTube channels.
Guys, subscribe to the
Guys,
channel.
we don't ask for the money, nothing. If you support us, go ahead, go to that channel, subscribe to it, help us get the 100K on that
People
one.
call us haters. People, oh, y'all scammers, but bro, we give hours of free content. You don't have to pay for anything. Just
Every
subscribe and
single
like
night.
The video, man.
Like, I want to go to
Y'all don't
Vegas.
gotta pay us. We don't care. Like people, oh, y'all scammers, y'all charlatans. No one's fucking going there and saying bye.
Two things. Like the video, sub to the channel. That's it. That's it. All right, guys. See y'all in a little bit. Peace and stay fresh
Later,
and
guys.
fit. Peace.
This whole thing about caring about what other people think, I mean, to a degree, reputation is important, but it's like, who is it important to? As long as you've got customers that are happy with the products and services that you're selling, as long as that you're with a girl that loves you for who you are, everything else is just sort of like all this social media stuff and, you know, liking this and following that and all this bullshit. It means nothing. Let's say if you are a film star or an influencer, or you go from having, I don't know, 50 grand a year to 50 million a year. Well, what difference does it make to your life? Like, you're driving in a better car, you've got a better t-shirt on. You can only wear so many t-shirts, you can only drive so many cars at one time. But the trouble with the fame and fortune thing is that when you get fame and fortune, you're thinking, oh, is the girl with me because of what I have or because of who I am? Whereas if you've got a ride or die girl that stays with you throughout the highs and the lows, then it's all good, isn't it? So I think it's better to not have everything. Like I said, I agree with half of what they're saying and the other half I don't agree with, and collectively none of it makes sense because it's not a rigid philosophy. I think it's better when you're at the bottom and you meet someone there and you build a life together. I think that's so much better than being at the top and then trying to get somebody. Because if a girl is with you for all the external things, what happens when those external things go? What happens at the end of the day when there's no parties left to go to and there's no more likes on Instagram and there's no more cash in the bank and all this, that, the other? What's going to happen then? So you really need somebody who's with you because it's you. And that's why they're not interested in anyone else, and that's why they don't want anyone else, no matter what happens. Then you've got a decent girl, and that's very difficult to find. I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying that's something to aim for, and that's something to work towards, instead of being with somebody who's with you because of what you have. Get with somebody that's with you because of who you are. Right, okay, so that was the CEO. And to be honest, I don't really know much more about the CEO after watching that video. I know it's Maureen Gaines, isn't it, was talking a lot. I did hear what the CEO said, and they were kind of like backing each other up. They seemed to be like a double act kind of a thing, hence the fresh and fit thing. Yeah, you don't have to be fresh and fit to get girls. You can be dirty and unfit. Sometimes being dirty is much better. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at another fresh and fit video. This one's called Men Have a Harder Time Getting Pussy. Let's get into the video.
Because if a girl goes outside and she be like, "Who wants to fuck?" Anybody gonna
Everyone's gonna
But if a
jump,
nigga does
right.
it, he don't look right.
But here's the thing. Here's the difference. I'll take it a step further. You could be 6'3", good looking, whatever, go in the club with a chain on and a Lambo parked out and 10,000 in your pocket. You go in there and say, "Who wants to smash?" Girls are still gonna give you a hard time.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
their
true.
choosing.
I need a date first, nigga.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, I feel like I've got a few things to say here about that. I'm just trying to articulate my thinking. All those things that Myron mentioned about having a Lamborghini or money or height or whatever it is that he thinks attracts women. Nothing beats genuine desire. And women desire men that they respect. And so the best thing that you can do above all else is respect yourself. And the way to respect yourself is to have higher standards than just wanting pussy. Like, I've put this in another video and people in the comment section didn't believe me. Like, I have women approach me all the time, and that isn't a brag. And some guys, it's not even in their conceptual realm that could happen. So I'll just talk a bit about my experiences. Because although I do agree with the video that it is harder for men to get sex, and it's easier for women to get sex, it's very difficult for women to keep a relationship, and it's very easy for men to keep a relationship. And anyone who's had a series of one-night stands and has had relationships will know that having a relationship is much more richer than a series of one-night stands. It's much better to be in a long-term relationship with somebody that you trust and respect over having a one-night stand with somebody that you don't feel the same way about. Having said that, you can have good one-night stands that are better than being in a marriage or a long-term relationship where you're dissatisfied. So it really all depends on the situation. So I'm just going to recollect a few times where girls have approached me and how they've approached me and all that kind of stuff. The way that I do it is that if I'm in a nightclub, that's the best example to use. I'll go down. First of all, I go to the nightclub by myself. I don't go out with a group of friends, not even a mate. I like to go by myself. So I'll go into the nightclub, have a bit of a scan of the room, see who's about. I like to get to the nightclub early, and I get a drink and sit down where there's somewhere nice and comfy where I can see everywhere. I've had girls try to pick me up many times, and I usually turn them down politely, but still had a good rapport and all that kind of stuff, because I just have such high standards that they just couldn't match them. The reason why I like to get there early is because if a girl's out hunting, especially by herself, they tend to go out early as well. So what'll happen, sometimes I'll get a drink, sit down, and she's the other one that got there early in the bar. Because it's very rare that girls go out by themselves. They're usually going out with at least one other friend or a group of people. So if a girl's going out by herself, she's probably looking to get a guy. So There was one time I was in a nightclub and we was in the smaller section before the main doors opened, and because I got there early, this blonde girl was like looking at me and just commenting about my drink or something like that and smiling, and I invited her over, and we're just making friendly chit chat, and she came and started chatting to me. I wasn't interested in her. She was well interested in me, and we had a great chat throughout the night. She was drinking, I wasn't. That's the other thing, I don't like to drink when I go out. I like to go out by myself and I don't drink. That way if there's any situation that kicks off with anyone in the nightclub or anything, I can just bounce. And if anything happens, I'm sober, so I can deal with it. So we got on really well. We went into the nightclub, more people arrived, we kind of split up, and then I went and sat down in the nightclub where all the music's going off. And I literally just sit there in the corner. And what I'm doing is, when I'm sitting in a nightclub, I don't do anything. All I do is take in the atmosphere of the room. So if I just enjoy the music, I enjoy the atmosphere, I just sit there, relax and enjoy it in the same way I would sit there and just enjoy a film going on. So I sit in the nightclub, sober, by myself, enjoying the atmosphere of the room. And then people just randomly come up to you, because it stands out in a good way. So like I say, this girl was interested in me early on in the night, and then she came back later on in the night and was sat down next to me and started chatting again. And then she went away again and she kept going and having a dance, and of course guys kept hitting on her while she was on the dance floor, and she would keep turning them down, and then she'd come and sit back next to me again. And then she met a girl during the night who was also single, who was brunette, and she brought her over to me as well and introduced me to her. I didn't ask her to do it or anything like that. And so I'm sitting there with a blonde and brunette, and the blonde's trying to chat me up, the brunette's really interested, you know, and they're both chatting me up, and they're good looking girls. I just wasn't interested, and I probably could have had them both that night, but I didn't want to, because I have a lot of criteria. And there were certain things they were saying and doing that just kind of put me off, and I just didn't want to. But we still had a great night. We got on really well. We had a good time, and the chat. And again, it was effortless. They just came to me. So that's one example. Another example is I found myself in this reggae bar at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just standing there. And this time I was actually drunk because I felt like having a drink. I'd had a bad day or something. And so I was standing there literally at the bar having a drink. That's the thing that girls do, is they always use proximity. So when they're interested in you, they won't always be so overtly direct. They'll be more subtle and indirect. So they use proximity a lot. So they'll come and dance near you. So I was standing there at the bar having a drink, and to my right, again, another blonde came up, and she just started just sort of like, you know how they're dancing and stuff, and she was just grinding her bum up against my thigh. And of course, she knew what she was doing. There was barely many people in the nightclub. She was literally rubbing her ass against my thigh. So I turned, I looked at her, she looked at me, and I knew she was interested. She's grinding her ass on my thigh, a complete stranger, and she's looking at me over her shoulder, giving me strong eye contact, smiling. But again, I just wasn't into her. So I am very fussy. Another one, I was sitting on a sofa, very similar to how I am at the moment. I was in Brighton, I think, in the UK. And again, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something stupid. And I was just sitting there, just having a drink, all nice and relaxed. And a girl literally just came up. There was barely anyone in the club. And a girl literally just came up and laid down and put her head on my lap, and just was sprawled out on me and just sort of like snuggled up to me and started chatting to me. This is what I'm saying. It's sort of like, I don't know how you have trouble. Less is more. Just don't try and they'll come to you. The way I see it is that if I go and sit in a nightclub and I just do a bit of people watching, I'm not like staring at people and shit. I'm just kind of, like I say, I'm enjoying the atmosphere of the room. I'm just kind of looking at everyone around, sort of like, and just kind of feeling the vibe. And if I'm enjoying myself and I'm relaxed and I'm open, I pick up on so many things, and people that are interested in me pick up on me. And that's attractive. And I can sit in a nightclub and I can scan the room, and after about 20 minutes or so, I'll know which girls are interested in me, which ones aren't, which ones are showing off, which ones... I just know. And you've just got to get used to looking at body language. And I think it's probably a bit more difficult for men to pick up on certain body language. But it's something whereby you've got to get out of your head, and you've not got to make it about you. You see, all these things that he's just saying there, oh, your height, your car, your money, all that kind of bullshit, it's all about you all the time. Forget about you. It's not about you. All that stuff does not matter if a girl's attracted to you. And you've really got to get out of your head, thinking about, oh, who I am, what I've got, what I'm worth, da-da-da-da-da. Just stop that and just be in the moment and just observe and interact and just be chill and give out positive energy. And the way I see Maureen Gaines reacting to a lot of things is very irate. And I'm sure it's good for views and stuff, but you've got to really be comfortable within yourself and relaxed and respect yourself and have criteria above pussy. It's very similar to Donald Trump on The Apprentice. You're kind of just sitting there, you have everyone come up to your desk and you decide who you're going to fire and who you're not. That's it. I believe it was Eben Pagan, who's also known as David D'Angelo, said that attraction isn't a choice. And I agree with him. In fact, I'd kind of tweak it a bit. I'd say desire isn't a choice, because you don't want to create attraction. That's what the kind of dancing monkeys do. You want to create desire in a woman. And desire goes at a different frequency to what attraction does. And so when you're in the nightclub or wherever you happen to be, you want to tap into desire, and it goes at a slower pace than attraction. Attraction's all on the top, all kind of dancey-fartsy. You want to go a bit deeper and more sensual. And relax into it. It really is about not trying, just allowing things to be as they are. It's very stoic. It's very zen-like, very much like the Tao Te Ching. And when I meet a girl, I'm not thinking about me or what I have or some funny fucking thing to say. I'm just being relaxed and natural, and I'm interested in her. I want to find out about her, especially if she wants to have sex with me. I have to consider my applicants very carefully. So it's true. You need to know who you're getting into bed with. And so I need to find out about people. And I need to qualify them. And it's not a game to me. I think everybody's trying to play a game. And the only winning move is not to play the game. This is your life. You've got to take it seriously and stop fucking around. Stop blaming women for being women. If you don't like it, go MGTOW or whatever. And stop trying to prove yourself to people. If you have self-respect, you've got nothing to prove to anyone. And stop trying so hard. Just allow it to be as it is. Stop trying so hard to grasp and get, and just allow things to come to you. I hope this helps. I really do. Whether you're Maureen Gaines watching this or some other guy that's frustrated that it's unfair and there's an asymmetry and it is easier for women to get dick than it is for men to get pussy, but women have it much harder in other ways, no pun intended. And I know the manosphere people don't like to acknowledge that because they just want to stick to men's issues. So just to recap, go out by yourself, relax and enjoy the atmosphere of the room. Don't try. Don't make it about you. And allow people that are attracted to you to approach you. And then all you have to do is pick from the ones that approach you. And it's always better when the girls chase. That's what they want to do. That's why they get all dressed up. That's why they put on the tops. That's why they do this, that, the other. because they want to attract your attention, because they want to make a good first impression. They're doing it all for you. So just relax and be the boss. And if you get laid, great, well done. And if you don't, cool, you had a good night out and that's the thing, is you don't pretend to enjoy the nightclub you really do enjoy the atmosphere. Especially if you've had a hard day working, or if you've been in a studio, you know, having loads of shit, chatting away everywhere. It's nice to just relax. So I hope this video has been helpful for anyone that's struggling to get women to chase you. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at a video called Put Yourself Out There, Level Up, and it's a short from Fresh and Fit. Let's get into the video.
Alright guys, you need to get into the top 20% of men. We live in a globalized sexual marketplace with the internet.
I know this is a short, but he's speaking way too fast and there's no justification for why he's saying what he's saying. I mean, why do you need to get into the top 20% of men? I mean, and how do you measure that? By what measure? Because he goes on about muscles and money and game and all that. So what do you measure that on what level? So if you've got big muscles, but you're 4'2", but you're a millionaire, so what, is that the top 20% of men? Or if you're fat and broke, but you're good looking, but you've got 1 million followers on TikTok, does that mean you're in the top 20% of men? Like, how do you measure it? How do you measure when you're in the top 20% when attraction is a multivariate analysis? And also, it's not true, is it? There's a lot of people watching this that aren't in the top 20% of men. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this that have had girlfriends or been on a lot of dates or whatever. It's not completely based on your ranking amongst other men. There's other factors that come into it. And I don't like this whole idea of making somebody feel deficient and making you feel like you're not good enough to be in a relationship with someone. There's enough feminists doing that. And I don't understand why he supports the feminist ideology.
Online dating, etc. Instagram, you know how it is.
Yeah, I don't know how it is. I don't know enough about the world to be able to make a fair judgment on it.
So, you gotta get your money on point.
Well, you need to get your money on point if you're looking to become a provider for women, yeah. Because you have a lover and a provider. If you're looking at becoming a provider, then you need to get your money on point. But if you're looking to be their lover, then that's not necessary.
Get in shape.
You need to get in shape primarily for yourself so that you feel good.
And learn game to learn how to deal with the modern day woman.
Yeah, this is probably my biggest thing, is that I don't think you have to learn game to deal with modern day women. This is where I disagree with him. The only winning move is not to play the game. All you need to do is you need to register people that come into your life based on 3 criteria: honesty, trust and respect. If someone's not being honest with you, you don't need to interact with them. If someone's being disrespectful towards you, you don't need to interact with them. If you don't trust somebody, you don't need to interact with them. No matter what they look like, no matter how pretty they are, no matter how handsome they are, no matter how attractive they seem to you or how much you desire them, if you haven't got honesty, trust and respect, you need it for yourself and you need it for the people that you interact with. You need to put that out into the world and they need to be putting that out into the world, and that needs to be the nature of your interaction. The moment one of you breaks one of those rules, the relationship begins to deteriorate. So in order to develop strong relationships that are meaningful, you need to develop honesty, trust and respect, and that is the opposite of game. It's not playing the game. This Maureen Gaines guy, he's making you believe that you need all these things in order to attract someone of the opposite sex, but it's not true. If you're dating online and you're not getting much success, you can click the link in the description below for my course and you can start dating more people more often and getting better results. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at the Fresh and Fit podcast where Kevin Samuels explains high value, the cold, hard truth. Let's get into the video.
Women, maybe even older women, as to how to lock down a high value man. You know, you're getting 5,000 plus people watching you, asking these questions. What would be one of the biggest takeaway tips you could give to women in the current dating marketplace to lock down a high value guy?
Stop. Because only 10% of you are going to get it. I'm sorry. Look, look. One of the biggest, 20% of you can qualify for it. Maybe 10% of you will land it. And that's really what my show is based on. You can, I don't begrudge you wanting what you want, but are you an 8, 9, and 10? Well, actually an adjustable 6, 8, or 9 in the looks. And are you an 8, 9, or 10 in the body? If not,
move along.
This is South Beach. You don't come to South Beach if you rocking a one piece. This is two-piece town. This is a bikini town. So this high value thing has worked because it just says women are hypergamous. They want to consolidate on the highest value man possible, but that may be different. See, that's possible. What's possible for Tina is not possible for Angie, is not possible for Hillary. So now I got women finally asking themselves the question, what does the kind of man that you want from a woman?
Putting it back on them for once, huh?
Yep. Well, and that's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I hear when I first started talking about this same kind of concept that honestly, it's been floating around the sphere a lot, you know. I've talked about this stuff for years, but moment in time it hit. Some of my detractors like, you're so mean, you're so rude, you're so this, you that. But you know what? women are saying, I like your delivery, I like your approach, your honesty, because what they're doing is not working.
Right.
Look on your left finger and ask yourself, are you sporting the wedding ring of a man of value? If not, it's not working.
Right.
And I would tell women, if they want a high value man, understand you have to put a lifestyle plan together for that. You have to really scrutinize yourself inside and out, head to toe. You got to be brutally honest. Then you're going to have to do something most women aren't willing to do. Develop a financial strategy to enter into the market. It costs money to live in these areas, to be around men like this.
Yes.
And you're going to have to invest, which means sacrifice. And then educate yourself. You know, if you want to be around a man who's an entrepreneur.
I haven't commented anything so far, just because I'm listening to what he's saying. We're 3 minutes in, and I don't disagree with anything that he's saying.
Or a business owner, you have to understand the language, lingua franca of all these things, and then take action. Many women just thought it was just good enough to be pretty and have wow, and it's not enough.
Kevin.
It's a bit like wanting to win the lottery, isn't it? A lot of people complain that they're not rich and they want to win the lottery. And so they buy a lottery ticket every weekend in the hopes that they're going to win the lottery. And it's a bit like with the women, isn't it? It's sort of like, well, I want a high value man. And so they go out and put themselves on dating apps and go out and meet people and stuff and go to nightclubs and whatever in search of a man or whatever, and a high value man specifically. And they don't get what they want, in the same way that the person that plays the lottery doesn't get what they want. The majority of people are going to lose, and there's going to be very few winners. So I can understand why he's saying stop, because there's other ways of making money. You don't have to keep playing the lottery. There's other ways of having relationships. You don't have to have a high value man.
We talked about this downstairs, right? There's many beautiful women here in Miami, especially in this building, right? And as you said earlier, it's because they know being in this environment is going to nurture what they want. However, they sacrifice a lot to be here. Some people from Idaho, Texas, you name it, all to come here because one is a thriving, happy community. I want to say the word. And also because they know of.
Just to add some clarity for those that don't know, I've looked at what Kevin Samuels has said in previous videos, and he defines it by 6 characteristics. So a high value man, just so you know who we're talking about, they've got to be earning at least £10,000 a month for 3 to 5 years. So let's say the average is 4. So earning £10,000 a month for 4 years, let's say. 3, there's group acceptance by other high value men. So other men that earn over £10,000 a month for at least 3 years will accept them as one of them. 4 is network, because your network is your net worth, and it gives you the ability to be able to get things done outside of money, like in terms of power and influence. 5 is visibility, in terms of, you know, I would have thought fame and all that kind of stuff, what people know you in the niche or the area that you're specified in. That's my assumption. That's what I would think he means by visibility. And 6, I can't even read my own handwriting at 6, so I suppose I'm not a very high value man if I can't even read my own handwriting. It looks like I've written utility. Utility is number 6. So basically, are you useful or not? Because you know how people moan about being used for things. Well, he's saying that, well, yeah, but high value men want to be used because they want to be useful. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about high value men, based on those 6 characteristics laid out by Kevin. So when Kevin's talking about high value men, that's what he's referring to.
That's right. And that's the thing. It's like men understand that we have to be competitive. And like I said, one of the biggest things is I don't begrudge women wanting what they want. Are you willing to compete to get it? And I talk to women all the time, and I use my professional sales skills, my probing, my questioning, my ability to reframe, restate. It's all sales. And oftentimes a salesperson would blow a sale because you would assume something that was not there, instead of asking a question a different way or losing your patience or getting off track, and it cost you money. So people are like, I don't know if I can have the patience. I'm like, if your money's on the line, I don't know why you better develop more patience.
Man. So Kevin, I want to ask this because, and this one, I
Okay.
apologize, it's not on the list, but I just had to ask this because one thing I love about your show, which I think a lot of us in here can agree, you hold both genders accountable. You hold men accountable and you hold women accountable. Let's keep it real. Most guys don't have the balls to hold women accountable.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And tell them, hey, listen, you understand that you want to deal with a top tier guy. This is what you have to do. And when I do watch your show, you ask very
But
deliberate.
you have to hold women accountable, especially if you're the high value man, because if you've got a high value lifestyle and if you're inviting a girl into it, then you need to know that she's not going to mess it all up.
Controlled questions, and the women answer truthfully, and then you tell them exactly, okay, well, this is your mess up, and then they can't really. There's not much they can say because you're doing it in a respectful manner, despite them sometimes being too emotional. And my question is,
Well, all you're doing is just seeing if they qualify for the position that they're looking for, the same as you would do in a job. If you're going to treat relationships in the high level, cold, corporate nature, you're going to have to be treated in that way as well in order to qualify. It's very calculating. So there's calculation in return. There's no entitlement to anything. You're after a high value position, even if it's as a wife. So you need to be qualified.
is this because you're like you keep it real with these women, unlike other people. I'm like, let's say Derek Jackson for one, right? You know, can you tell us a little bit about I mean, if you want to get into it, the biggest difference between someone like yourself versus you know, someone like Derek Jackson telling these girls what they want to hear?
Okay. Let me relate it back to business.
Yeah.
In sales,
Yeah, again, it's a bit like with, you know, someone says, oh yeah, keep buying the winning lottery ticket. Yeah, your numbers will come in one day. Your ticket will come in one day. It's that wishful thinking against all odds isn't very helpful advice.
in sales, if you're in a salesperson, there's a book called The Challenger Sale. Pick it up, read it. The Challenger Sale states that there are 5 different kind of salesperson: relational salesperson, lone wolf, hard worker, somebody else, and a challenger. And consistently in bull markets or bear markets, and up markets or down markets, regardless as the industry or whatever, there's one kind of salesperson that continues to outperform all the others. And it's called the challenger. The challenger comes into the sales environment above the prospect. Now, let's imagine you guys had a multi-million-dollar business, and I'm trying to sell you guys my advertising.
Yeah.
Most people are going to come in here and, hey, man, like your jacket. Hey, buddy, what's your so forth? Blah, blah. Hey, let's take you out over to the strip club.
Yeah, I don't like that approach. I like more of a kind of consultative approach to selling. It's sort of like whoever's trying to sell you something, whether I'm being sold to or I'm doing the selling, I like to have it whereby you're seeing if it's a right fit, if it, you know, or if it's a mismatch. You need to see what the customer or the client actually is looking to get, to see if your product or service is a match. It's got to work both ways. It can't just be trying to sell something for a profit. The way I think of it is that selling is helping. So you really want to go in with a helpful attitude, and you want to be able to find out if it's a good match.
Because I'm going to learn enough about you to consult you and say, I understand last year you lost this deal to your competitor. So it's the consultative sales approach of a challenger. And a challenger salesperson does 3 things in any process: they teach, they tailor, and they take control. So when I'm talking to women, I'm teaching them something that they don't know. I tailor the message that they can understand it, and I take control. And that's why most women are kind of like receptive to the message, because no one's ever kind of framed it that way, right? Now, a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll tell women what they want to hear, and that works to make women feel good as a placebo. But if you're a personal trainer and tell people, hey man, eat what you want, do what you want, you know, it's not going to help your client get any better shape. And again, women are recognizing after this beer bug, they look to the right, look to the left, there's no man there. They're saying these outcomes are not working. So a guy like myself is saying something different than everybody else. and showing the outcomes. My show accidentally has saved marriages.
Mm.
I get emails weekly. You saved my marriage. Women have called into my show saying that I'm a better wife. I'm on my husband's team.
Yeah.
My one lady left me flat-footed. She's like, my future generations owe their lives to you.
Wow,
Wow. That's powerful.
that's serious.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah, because if you can get, because belief systems really rule the roost. And so if a family has a belief system, or someone in a family has a belief system, it can trickle down through the generations. And so if you alter that belief system to a more helpful, useful one, that can then trickle down through the generations. And it's a much better thing to be able to do.
And because at the end of the day, it's about outcomes. And when I held my men's event, MIT, I told guys two things. Guys, life happens out there and life is about people. Ladies have forgotten that men have a want and a desire in this thing. And that's what a lot of ladies are finally starting to understand. And it's working for them. So strangely enough, it's working.
Wow, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's rare to get that kind of, appraise from them, because I mean, let's be honest. You're telling them the truth, the uncomfortable and unflattering realities. Hey, this is why you're single. You need to do this and do that. But I love how you kind of imply that you use the Socratic method. Ask them questions. Oh, well, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Do you know how much it's going to take to how much it's going to cost for you to get that? You're going to need a guy that makes this much money.
Yeah, I think the reason why that works, like inquiry, is because the answers come from the prospect. So, like, they know if you tell somebody something that they don't want to hear, then they can be in kind of denial or have a go at you, or there can be some sort of like really strong reaction. But that's when you make statements and observations. But when you ask questions based on what they're asking for, and you just mirror it back to them, then the truth will come out from inside of them. Because if the truth is that they can do that, or if it's something that they want to hear, something that's congruent with where they can get to, then it's a good thing, because they're like, oh yeah, I could do this, that, the other, and then they can get what they want. But if they really question themselves and they're honest with themselves and they think, oh crap, how the hell am I going to do this? Then they can get really kind of stuck and jammed, because they realise that it's going to be a lot more harder than they thought, and they're going to have to do a lot more things in order to get what they really want, and they might not even be eligible.
Who makes that kind of money? And you just let them answer the questions and come to the conclusion themselves, which is like ingenious. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to ask Kevin, right? Because
Well, it's ingenious, but also it saves being confrontational as well.
we're all about being high value men here, right?
Yep.
But a lot of the audience may not really internalize what that really means.
Perfect question.
Okay.
So if anyone doesn't know, Kevin, what does it mean to be a high value male?
Okay.
Bam.
All right. So what I did is, high value is not my concept. It's been around for a long time. What I did is I sat down with some academicians, scholars, anthropologists, sociologists, reading, and I just said, who are the men across time and space, across cultures, across continents, who've always separated themselves from the pack? What are some of the things they shared in common? And then I just applied and tried to make it as simple as possible. Sales, keep it simple, stupid. One, it starts with income. We all have heard the 3 6s: 6 figures, 6 feet, 6 pack.
Yep.
Okay, so high value in general starts. I put a number of $10,000 a month, because that number, $100,000, has been with us since the 80s, 85 in particular. That's when it popped up.
Mhm.
Didn't make it, guys. Don't shoot the messenger. And you need to make that money over a certain length of time. Guys, anybody can have a good year.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anybody,
sure.
Jeremy Lin had a couple of good games. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. 5 years is the target, but 3 years is when you're in striking distance, because that each one of these characteristics or criteria lends itself to other aspects of a man as well.
Mhm.
Third, high value men must recognize you as their peer
Mhm.
or potential peer.
Right.
This is why you see older guys who are up here befriending younger guys who has that look like they can do it. It's a club, it's a fraternity, because anybody will tell you once you start getting to certain levels of success, it starts to thin out a lot.
Yep.
4, it has to be
And it is a kind of birds as a feather flock together. But also, it's like you don't want anything invading what you've created and destroying it.
I say, visibility.
Mhm.
You know, needs to be LinkedIn level. People have to be able to understand what you do. You're a cardiologist at Johns Hopkins. You're vice president of mergers and acquisitions
So that's what visibility meant, like easily identifiable.
at Morgan Stanley. I'm an entrepreneur. 2 of those 3 things, we at a glance know what it means. The third one requires more information. LinkedIn level, meaning that people, it needs to be visible to where people can kind of understand it. You have a Phantom, great, but if it's in the garage all the time, do you really have a Phantom?
Mm.
Does
True.
it really matter?
You have a dust collector.
You got to start flexing.
Exactly. And the last 2 are, this is not an order of importance, but the last 2 are the most important. Network. You must have a network of other high value men and others. No one can have a network of sheer high value men. But let's say we were all 5 of us were going to sit down and do business. Let's say you had 50 million. Let's say you had 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, and he has 50. And each one of us has a Rolodex or a network of 250 high value contacts. We all sit down and we're going to make a venture. He has twice the money, he has no contacts.
Mm.
It is more likely that that person is going to come and leech off of our network.
Okay.
That's true.
And he's going to try to buy his way in. And I'm sorry, we have the money, but we know that our contacts took us a lot to gain, and you're going to guard your territory because having networks of contacts is immeasurable. And this is why networks are so important. See, I'll say there's no real high value loners because a lot of times guys will try to buy their way into it, but lack the social skills. Even if you put him in contact with your network, he likely just blow our connections because he doesn't have the people skills.
Mm.
And lastly, utility. You must be of use to others and the group.
Damn. Yeah.
If you're of no use, I want to be used.
Yeah.
You say, Kevin, when you gonna come down, such and so forth. Okay. What good is all this high value talk if you're not going to be useful to somebody?
Yeah.
It's just self-serving bullshit. Now, I don't expect anybody to be a martyr. You're going to get something out of it, but high value is a mindset more than anything else. But you have to have these other markers because whether we like it or not, the market decides.
Yes.
Yeah.
The market
Very true.
decides everything. The market decided that Phantom is worth more than this, it's worth more than that. The market decides all of our relative value, and what we can do is do what we can to increase or decrease it
And the market is defined by below average women.
according to the outcomes we want. And I say this to a lot of guys, don't kill yourself if you're not high valued. That's not the only way to be successful.
Yeah.
There are plenty of ways to live a fulfilled life that doesn't require all the things that I'm talking about.
And that's kind of what I'm saying as well. The sort of like the characteristics that create the high value man are the same characteristics that create other types of men that are available. But it's kind of like the women that call into his show are all focused on the superstar.
I think that's one thing that's kind of gotten lost in this thing.
Right, so we've had a look at that. Now, there's this other little video that I thought I'd included in part of this from the Fresh and Fit podcast because it's relative to what Kevin's just said, and it's coming from the girls and they're kind of like the market. So let's have a look at that. So, and this isn't to have a dig or anything, this is just to have a look at how women treat this, because you see how Kevin was very calm, cool, collected, helpful, all that kind of stuff. Now let's see if the ladies can be as helpful.
Men are repulsed by women that are in sex work
But you
and or overtly
also
promiscuous.
are a high value man who just said he's dated multiple OnlyFans strippers.
I never referred to myself as a high value man, but okay.
You don't
but I-
consider
but I-
yourself that?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to be cocky, but I have dated multiple women that work in that industry,
I
and
feel
I'm.
like you have the right to answer yes or no to these
Yeah,
questions.
are
'cause
you a
we've answered these
high-value man?
questions. Are you a high value man?
That'd be very cocky. Anyway,
Are you a high value
So
man or
answer would
not?
be
Yes or
yes.
no?
I think if the answer was yes, it would be answered straight away. But the criteria, if it's according to Kevin Samuels' criteria, I don't know how old Maren is or how long he's had this success at the podcast thing, but he's got really good numbers and everything, and he's positioned himself well. And so, but you know, according to Kevin, it's 3 to 5 years at £10,000 a month. So just those two criteria alone would be very difficult for a lot of young men coming up to be able to demonstrate the fact that they're established. See, let's say if he's been earning £10,000 a month for the last year or 15 months, well, that doesn't fit into Kevin Samuels' criteria of a high value man, because you still need another year and a half with it, even if he does do that. So it's very difficult to answer that question. And this is the problem with sort of like, if a woman says, oh, I want a high value man, and then you're qualifying yourself based on what they want, and you're saying that that's, and if you're qualifying yourself based on what they are saying, then you're going to come up against obstacles. And the way that I like to approach it is that I don't care about what the women say that they want.
listen,
You know,
ladies,
our
Do
attorney
you meet
president.
the criteria of a high value man as per that Samuels
you
man
guys can
on YouTube?
you guys can assume what you like. The point I'm
Why
trying
can't
to
you
make is
answer it?
I think deflection is very
Yeah.
telling.
okay. Well, you guys can assume.
So
what you
he's
want.
a wannabe high value man?
There you go, wannabe.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm just
I'm an
asking. What about
imposter.
you? Are you a high value man? Do you
Oh.
make over 100K a year?
I'm a broke boy.
Facts.
I work at Chick-fil-A.
Facts.
I thought that was your past life when you were married and
We still do. It's
I
Miami.
still do.
Everybody here
Yeah.
counts. So anyway, going back to so what was your original question again? It was
The reason why I include that is because just because somebody says that they want something, or a market or a group of people say that they want a particular thing, and that's the thing that's desirable, and everything else will be excluded, you don't have to listen to that. You don't have to obey that. You don't have to worry about being eligible for that criteria, because you can't listen to what people say. You have to kind of look at what they do. So these women that come on here and say, I want a high value man, I want this, I want that, they'll still go out with a guy who's a dickhead, who's low value. So if you're even just nicer than the dickhead, then you don't have to be what they're asking for. You don't have to worry about being good enough for somebody else or meeting somebody else's criteria. This whole value thing, my thoughts on this whole value thing, it's kind of like what looks were a few years ago. Oh, if he looks like this, if he looks like Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp. There are some girls that like Johnny Depp and they don't like Brad Pitt, or they like Brad Pitt but they don't like Johnny Depp. And so everybody's individual tastes are different, and what people do is different to what they say that they want. So you can't really listen to what people say. You kind of have to look at their behavior. I wouldn't worry about what you look like, how much money you make, what your status is, all that kind of stuff, because, you know, men could say that as well. Oh, I want, you know, like 20 years ago or whatever, I want somebody that looks like Pamela Anderson or Cindy Crawford or whatever, or nowadays it will be, I'm not in touch with it, like Kim Kardashian or Jennifer Lopez a few years ago, or whoever, Britney Spears, whoever the bloody person is at the time. Oh, I want that kind of girl. Just because men want that kind of girl doesn't mean to say that they're going to get that kind of girl. So the same is true with women. You can't listen to what women say that they want. You've got to look at their behavior and what the chemistry is between the both of you. If you want to be high value, you do it for yourself. You don't do it to attract something else. So I don't like this whole high value stuff, because I don't like the idea of measuring yourself based on something outside of yourself, based on what other people think, say and do, based on the market. That's one way of doing it, but it's not the only way. And I think if you respect yourself, the act of respecting yourself comes across as high value in and of itself. So what I would say to guys is, don't worry about ticking off other people's expectations and their boxes. Just be who you are, be honest, be trustworthy, and be respectful. And by doing those things, you'll be the highest value you can be in the place that you're at. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Mr. Organic, and the video is called High Value Man Roasts Woman. So let's have a look at the video.
Like Kelly Rowland say, I'm gonna be your motivation. When you come home, I'm gonna be in lingerie. I'm gonna keep it nice and fresh and waxed for you. I'm gonna cook your food.
Oh,
You just gotta bring home the bacon. That's
Oh,
it.
shit.
I don't ask for a lot.
So,
Chris?
Mr. Organic is a
Okay.
high value guy, right?
Right.
I want to know from your brother.
By the way, I do like Mr. Organic. He looks really cool, doesn't he?
What do you look for in a woman? So you heard all these answers, right? What do you look for?
I mean, yeah, like, of course, most of them is gonna stand on they pretty, they gonna fuck you and all that. Come home, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, man. Like, we get that dime a dozen. Like, a nigga got bread, nigga. I'm 6'6", 230. I'm smooth. Even without the money, I had every woman I ever wanted.
I like Mr. Organic.
Every woman I ever wanted. So, like, just because you're gonna be at my home when I come there cooking, I don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying? I never needed it. You know what I'm saying? I need a girl that's gonna understand what I go through, who gonna keep a motherfucker on top of his toes, that's gonna push him and motivate him. You know what I mean? That's also gonna come with some ideas. You know what I mean? Give me creative criticism on my grind. You know what I mean?
Be a partner. Be a good partner.
So add to the table. You know what I mean? Not just trying to grab some food every time it's filled up. You know what I mean? You got to bring something to this table. Like, fucking pussy is over with after a certain time. Like, I could fuck any bitch I ever wanted in my life. I always have. That's not appealing to me no more. You know what I mean? Once you get money and
you see these other girls sitting around listening to what he's saying, and this girl's over here in the orange top licking her tongue like,
money, and once you was already having that, you got to bring more. Your energy got to be right. Your mind got to be right. That body don't mean nothing after a while.
To me, the attitude's got to be right, and that ties in with the energy and all these kind of things that, you know, men, whether they're high status or not, look for. And that's the most important thing. You know, it's, you know, there are so many people that look nice, but you need to behave nice.
You know what I'm saying? A nigga will fuck anything, man. So, like,
hate
you could be the
that.
baddest bitch in the world. That's fine. Nigga gonna have you, and I'm gonna fuck a bitch, motherfucker, a 2 and a 3. A nigga will do that.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z had Beyonce, he still fuck some other pussy. How can you beat that? Because he would just want some new pussy on his cock. So that ain't nothing, man. It's your energy, it's your mind, what you bringing to help me grow. And what's gonna help us grow. That what counts.
Yeah, men love women for reasons other than sex.
Yeah, preach, brother.
Yeah.
Preach.
But a bad bitch brings inspiration.
A bad bitch brings inspiration. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What inspiration? What's a bad bitch? Why do I want a bad bitch?
Real nigga that already had
Yeah.
that. If you got a fat, lame, rich nigga that need all that, I just want a bad bitch, that nigga, he's a square. He's a nobody.
You want a good girl? Like, life is full of problems. A bit like he was saying there, Jay-Z. 99 problems, but my bitch ain't one. That's the kind of, you know, life is, as a man, you just have problems, and you've got to turn them into positive solutions. And you just want a girl there that's by your side, that can see, like he said, that can see what you're going through, and is on your team, and is your cheerleader, and he's just there, all nice and compliant, and just being like a really good partner. That's what you want. That's understanding. Someone that's listening and understanding. And this girl doesn't seem to be listening. She's trying to sell a bad bitch. We're not buying a bad bitch.
He's a nobody.
Yeah.
But a nigga that been sufficient his whole life and got every girl he wanted, what is a bad bitch doing for me?
Exactly. So again, he's kind of highlighting the difference between a provider and a lover. So, you know, if you're a provider and that's all you've got to bring to the table is material possessions, then that's probably all you want is a bit of eye candy. It's not worth anything.
That's nothing. We always had that. What you bringing more than just being it's a million bad bitches walking this earth. That's the cheapest and most easiest thing to get for a nigga got some money is a bitch and some pussy.
Bam.
You go to, like I say, you go to Brazil right now, it's gonna be a 10,000 bad bitch you ever seen in your life. You give them bitches $1 and a coffee, and that bitch gonna lick your feet, man.
The coffee doesn't even have to be a Starbucks.
That ain't that's worthless to a real nigga, man.
It's just Costa Coffee.
Right.
You gotta be a fat, slow brain, regular ass nigga that finally got some money to be imposed. And I got a bad bitch. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a different type of breed of human that get they rocks off to that. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Y'all get your money now. Go get all them niggas. But a nigga like me, that shit is like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Our energy's gotta be connected. You
I
know?
like the words that he's coming out with, like our energy's got to be connected and all that kind of stuff. Loving it.
I'm saying we gotta grow together. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, grow together. I really agree with that. I think that's a good thing. It's you and your girl, your partners, and you grow together. And you lead, she follows, and the energy is all positive. That's how it's got to be.
Take a basic bitch that is somebody that you want to talk to over a bad bitch that will inspire you.
So you consider yourself a bad bitch?
No, yeah.
A basic bitch and a bad bitch. Oh my God. Look, she's still trying to sell a bad bitch because that's all she knows how to sell.
Bad bitch that will inspire you.
And he's just spit out a load of desires, like this is what I want as a man, kind of a thing, and this is what is valuable. And she's questioning that. Not only is she questioning it, she's still trying to promote the idea of this bad bitch, and she's still saying this word inspiration. I don't even know what that means. What does inspiration mean? I mean, I know what the word inspiration means, but how does she mean it? What does, like, quantify that? Like, put it into some sort of value structure or fiat currency. What is that?
So you consider yourself a bad bitch?
No, yeah, I do actually.
So you above basic. Well, you don't even work. You don't have no attributes.
A bad bitch is a basic bitch. That's all she is.
To the table here. Like, what
I
are
do
we
have
talking about?
attributes.
Like
I inspire my men.
How many times is she going to use this word inspire? It's been 3 minutes. She's used it 3 times. It's the only. Does she have any other words in her vocabulary? Like, is that her only selling point? Inspire, which means absolutely nothing.
My men.
How? You haven't got no job. You got, what's your education?
Listen,
what's your master's
but you
degree
have
in?
to
listen. What's he got to listen to?
Bad bitch that will inspire you.
It's a bit like going up to McDonald's, isn't it, and saying, "Oh, can I have a McFlurry, please?" And the person on the other end of the intercom going, "Are you sure you want a McFlurry? Are you sure you don't want a Big Mac?" I was like, "No, I want a McFlurry." "Why do you want a McFlurry out for a Big Mac? Big Macs are really cool." It's like, what are you talking about? Why are you trying to sell me a Big Mac when I'm asking for a McFlurry? Probably still got that in my mind from the Richard Cooper video.
No, but you have to realize that
He doesn't have to realise anything. You're trying to tell him about men at a high level. What? This makes no sense. Again, it's like telling somebody who's hungry and they know what they want to eat. "Oh, no, you don't want that to eat. You want what I want you to eat." It's like, what are you talking about? Just serve me. If I don't want to come to your restaurant, I'm not coming to it.
No, but you have to realize that when men make it to a certain level,
Right.
they're not checking for a woman's education.
They're not?
When you're making millions of dollars, you don't care about a woman's education.
Yes, you do.
Talk to
I
plenty.
do.
She's talking rubbish, and rightly so. He's getting frustrated. And when they talk rubbish like this, the best thing to do is to ignore them. Already, I know that this girl isn't worth paying attention to. Whatever's causing a problem seems to get attention. Instead of all these other girls sitting around here who are just politely sitting and listening and taking on board other people's thoughts, feelings, and ideas and being empathetic. They're not getting the attention in the video. She is, through just making an argument over nothing and not saying anything.
The rich men.
I do. I'm a rich man.
See, it's all about her again. I. It's not about empathy, being kind, compassionate, and caring for the person that you're listening to.
I'm a rich man. I got an estate in Malibu. Okay,
An
2
estate?
acres. Yes.
Oh, I
2
would
acres.
like to see the paperwork.
Okay, we can show you paperwork.
Go ahead and
Show
show me the
paperwork, too.
title.
What, you think he's lying? She is so disrespectful. I wouldn't even talk to her.
Show paperwork to somebody that got no paper.
Miseducated.
That would make no sense.
Show me,
She ain't got
pull
no
up
paper
that
calling
deed.
for paperwork.
Can he pull up the deed?
Can you pull
You
up
don't
your
even
car?
know what a
Can you
deed
pull up a
is.
vehicle?
You don't even know what a deed is.
You don't even know what a deed is. She is so rude. I think one of the things, and these guys are laughing and all that kind of stuff, and these women are sort of like, you can see, look at this picture, you can see the dynamic here, and he's trying to keep his cool. And this video is no longer about Mr. Organic, is it? It's about this girl in the orange top who won't shut up about talking about inspiration. All she knows how to be is rude and disrespectful in order to get attention. That's all she knows how to do.
You got a little residue underneath your nose, baby.
He's certified.
do that.
He's
You know what I'm saying?
certified.
But I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying, right?
She
Yeah.
fucking with loser, fat, old niggas got money. I get it.
Nah,
Don't play with
negative.
them.
But seriously,
There's
when
no
you
way you
reach a
got
certain
nobody.
Just the way she's talking, the tone of her voice, there's so many things to say about her. She's the perfect example of a girl that you don't want to go for.
seriously,
There's
when
no
you
way you
reach a
got
certain
nobody
level,
efficient
when
around
you
you.
reach a certain level, you don't care if that girl works as a bottle girl. You don't care if this
It
girl
don't
has
matter.
a job.
We
Like
didn't
you
say
don't
that. We gotta
care.
have some
You see how comfortable she is with the disrespect?
smarts,
Already,
though.
because you
We can tell you
already
ain't got no
you've
smarts.
already
Like, we
made
need
it to a
somebody with
certain
some
level.
brain. It ain't about just want to suck my dick all the time.
The energy needs to be matched.
We need,
is what
yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, it's bigger than
But you're
just.
saying because she doesn't have a job or work,
It don't matter.
She's just winding him up. It's a bit like when a child comes in and just starts arguing with every single thing that you say in order to get attention. That's all that she's doing. She's not even saying anything. She's not even making an intelligent point.
can't match your energy.
It don't matter. I'm talking about you personally on the educational
But you don't know me
terms.
personally.
I could tell you ain't got no brain.
Honey, I worked in corporate finance.
You
What are you
did?
talking?
So why are
Yes,
you not
baby.
She was in accounts. Well done.
Employed now.
Because I don't want to be.
So you want to be a slave to a man with some money?
I want to. No, honey. I want to be an inspiration.
This word inspiration is really starting to piss me off now.
Was
How?
to some money.
How you going to inspire him? Please explain that.
Baby, I just told you. Obviously, you weren't listening.
I'm listening quite fine. You see you coming in lingerie, but
No,
put
you
your
wasn't
lingerie ain't
listening
gonna-
though.
She is such a rude and nasty person. I wouldn't give her any time or attention. And yet she's got one of the highest videos on here, if not the highest. Which is a good thing, really, I suppose, because she's the perfect example of the type of girl that you don't want to get.
No, you
Put your
wasn't
lingerie ain't
listening
gonna-
though.
ain't gonna do nothing for
you
another
wasn't
nigga.
listening.
Okay, I got you. I won't listen to you.
Yeah. Well, I tried to learn a bit about Mr. Organic, but I didn't really get much out of him. But what I did hear from him sounded like a really cool dude. So, yeah, brilliant. Like him. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at some shorts from Fresh and Fit. Let's get into the videos.
The reason why nice guys finish last, because you put the woman in front.
The most important thing is to create a good boundary function. When someone's being nice to you, you can be nice back to them. When they start acting like a dickhead, close the door. So good behaviour, yes. Bad behaviour, no. And what happens is with good guys is they leave the door open. So they're just nice all the time, no matter what. You can be a nice guy, just don't take any bullshit.
Never, ever put a woman on a pedestal.
You can put a woman on a pedestal so long as you don't sacrifice who you are and it comes from a grounded place.
Or in front of you guys. Men lead, women follow. If you put a girl in front of you, you've inadvertently lowered your own value and she thinks she's better than you, which means she can't respect you.
Who cares what she thinks? If you put a woman in front of you, you're disrespecting yourself, and that gives her permission to then disrespect you. But your respect is paramount.
Next, you got to get your money on point. You cannot be broke.
Most men throughout all of history have been broke and they've still had sex.
Guys, you shouldn't be going Dutch on dates with any girl, okay? Obviously, keep the first date low investment until you smash. But from that point, you should never, ever be broke, okay?
I don't think that's true. I think it's better to start at the bottom, get a good girl, and work your way up together. I think that's much more healthy and better. Worked for Rocky and Adrian.
Focus on getting your money up. And if you don't have money, then focus on getting that up, and then you can go in after the girls. But get your money on point first.
If you get your money right first, how do you know if the girl's with you for money or not? Because she hasn't seen you at your weakest and your brokest. You know, the whole idea of marriage, for example, or having a partner for life or somebody that you can be loyal with is for having them for better and worse. It's easy to stay around people when things are going well. It's very difficult to be around people when they're at the bottom. If you can get a girl while you're at the bottom, then she's a dependable woman, isn't she?
Okay, when a girl tells you her body count, don't believe it.
You should believe it if she's being honest.
And why'd you even ask, guys? She's never going to be honest with you, okay?
Well, she may not be honest with you, but
No girl nowadays in the West is a virgin. And
that's not true. There are virgins in the West. They're just not born unvirginated.
if you ask her for a body count, you need to, whatever she tells you, multiply by 3, then add another 10, and then multiply that by another 2.
The whole idea of dating someone and being intimate with someone is to base it on honesty. So if somebody's not being honest with you, you walk away from them.
That's probably her body count, right? She ain't going to be honest, don't ask. It's going to bother you no matter what it is.
If it bothers you, if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask the question.
He's like a brother to me. Translation. He's been in the friend zone so goddamn long
The best thing to do is not end up in the friend zone in the first place.
that I don't even know if he has a penis. But if my boyfriend pisses me off and I'm drunk enough, I might suck his dick.
And if she does suck your dick, then she may feel guilty or bad about it afterwards. So it's probably best not to start in the friend zone.
When a girl says, I feel like, translation, what I feel like right now, and these feelings might not necessarily translate to the future. So believe me at your own cost.
Well, she's allowed to have feelings and she may believe that in the moment, but it doesn't mean to say that you should be any less logical.
And finally, guys, you got to learn female nature. Having money and looks and being in the gym and looking good, hey, that's great, but guess what? If you don't have game, you're going to get finessed. The modern day woman
The only winning move is not to play the game.
has had way more sex than the modern day man. So You got to learn how to adapt with the times and
You don't have to adapt with the times. Female sexual selection has been the same all throughout history.
understand female nature so that you don't get manipulated and or used and abused, okay? Learn a game.
You don't want to manipulate and use and abuse yourself by lying to yourself. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need a girl who is honest with you.
You're misogynistic. Translation: I don't like the fact that you acknowledge uncomfortable truths about female nature and you hold me accountable for those actions, and I can't get one over on you.
Why would she want to get one over on you? Did you get one over on her? Why did you do that? She's reacting to your proactiveness. So if she's giving you shit, it's probably because you put shit out there. Why would you want to make people feel guilty for doing something that comes to them naturally as part of who they are? Females are females, and if you want to get with them, part of it is you accept all of them, not just the parts that you like. If you accept her, she'll accept you, and if you don't accept her, then don't go out with her.
All right, you got to get fit. Being fat, unfucking acceptable in 2021.
This is like with the money thing. Poor men have sex, fat men have sex.
If you're fat, you need to get to the gym right now.
Why would you want to go to the gym to lose weight? You go to the gym to build muscle. You go to the kitchen if you want to lose weight because it's mostly based on your nutrition plan.
Start exercising, tracking your calories. It is unacceptable to be fat because it is the one thing in the world that you can actually control is your weight and how you look in the gym.
Your weight and what you do in the gym are two separate things. If you want to lose weight quickly, the best thing to do is fasting. No gym involved.
Get in there, start exercising, lifting weights, all right? Eating correctly.
There's a difference between not being fat and not being muscular. If your goal is to lose weight, you don't need to worry about building muscles.
When a girl says, oh, it's just about the vibes, translation, you need to have game.
You don't need to have game. The only winning move is not to play the game because they'll have you playing all sorts of games.
Guys, women are very socially aware, and when they say vibes, it means they need to be able to read your persona, the way you act, your confidence, your masculine energy. That's what vibes is. So you need to have game, guys, simply put.
Who cares about what she wants? The main problem is that these guys are caring way too much about what women want or say that they want. And you shouldn't care about what they want. You should care about what you want and go after that. And that's why women will respect you, because you're a man that knows what he wants and he's going after it, and you're not trying to supplicate to give women what they want. To watch more of my videos, check out my YouTube channel called Behind Closed Doors. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Owen Cook, aka Tyler from RSD on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Let's get into the video.
So I was in like a pretty painful breakup a long time ago.
Weren't we all, my friend?
Okay. And so me and one of my staff, we would listen to your book in the car while we're driving.
Really?
Yeah, just every day we would listen to it just for like half an hour. And so I kind of, like, me and my friends were kind of...
So the other guy in the video is Rollo Tomassi, and the book that he's referring to, I believe, is The Rational Male.
Like, me and my friends were kind of idiots. Like, we just like to laugh all day. Like, that's all we do. We just clown all day, right? So we would just listen to the book, like, you know, for like half an hour. And we would just, every single zinger that he would say, we would just crack up, you know what I'm saying, right? Because I was like fresh in the breakup. So, like, my mind was just like in a very receptive state to kind of like taking in the input, you know? So, but I remember the part where we sat out there in the car for like 15 minutes before we went in the house. Was this, it was like a poem that you had in the book called Hypergamy Doesn't Care.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
Is there a way to play this for the audience?
And it is true, hypergamy does not care, or hypergamy, or however you want to pronounce it. And I know that people use the word hypergamy in relation to women's sexual selection, which is what kind of is a driving force behind evolution. But you could also broaden it to life doesn't care.
For the audience, hypergamy doesn't, can we play it, or I can play it on my phone?
Because essentially sexual selection is that which selects which genes shall be passed on and which genes will not be passed on.
Yeah, I can go. I know where the post is.
So I'll tell you the story and then we'll play it.
Right.
So me and my buddy Aaron, we sat out there in the car, and we've been listening to this for a while. And like, so one thing I try to do is when I'm public speaking, I go off, right? Just the way you guys do too. I just go, oh, is this my, okay. So I try to just really go off. But when I'm listening, I try to really listen. Like, I try to really be receptive and take it in and consider what I'm hearing. And all that kind of stuff. So we really, really take it in like in a deep level.
Yeah.
So we're just very receptive and very open. So it has this crazy
Listening is most of it.
receptive and very open. So it has this crazy poem called Hypergamy Doesn't Care. And me and my buddy Airburn is sitting in the car outside my crib, and every single line we just pause it. We were like, ah, and you just got you're just like, ah, and then by the end of it, like by the time it was done, we were just like, ah, and he just sat there in the car screaming for like 5 minutes.
Damn. Straight fit right now. We got it here. Let's
A
go.
little bit of wisdom you can carry into a monogamy of your own decision and your own frame is to understand this sexual pluralism in women. Accept hypergamy as a woman's operative state at all times. The most common words you hear newly divorced men utter is some version of, I never saw this coming in my wildest imagination.
I love the
We were
text.
married for 20 years. We have 4 kids.
What I like about this is that it's such a horrible topic, because when you get into the depths of despair that is created through the breakdown of the family, I mean, there's all sorts, there's abortions, there's suicide, there's all sorts of things that go on, there's parental alienation, it's a really bad situation. And there's a lot of heartbreak, and a lot of people have their lives destroyed, men and women, when it comes to breakups. And I think when people share and have these conversations, there's a kind of camaraderie that comes into it. And you can just kind of like step back from the drama and see yourself other than the drama and not take the drama so seriously. And I think that's important, to be able to sit back. If you can sit back and laugh at your situation instead of getting heartbroken and devastated over it, then you're on your way to recovery.
Kids, how could she be over me so quickly? A lack of understanding the basics of hypergamy is exactly why men are blindsided. Hypergamy doesn't care how great a father you are to your kids.
Yep. It doesn't matter how good a father you are.
Hypergamy doesn't care how you rearranged your college majors and career choice in life to better accommodate
I
her.
did that when I was younger.
Hypergamy
Which is why you must always treat yourself as the most important person in any given relationship.
Hypergamy doesn't care how inspired or fulfilled you feel as a stay-at-home dad.
Being a stay-at-home dad was the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. And I had a very fulfilling career, doing something I really enjoyed. And it was still nowhere near as satisfying as being a stay-at-home father.
Hypergamy doesn't care that you moved across 4 states to accommodate your long-distance relationship. Hypergamy doesn't care how supportive you've always been of her decisions, or if you identify as a male feminist.
A male feminist, also referred to as a white knight, is a very vile and dangerous creature.
Hypergamy doesn't care about the sincerity of your religious convictions or aspirations of high purpose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you want to better yourself or the world, because hypergamy doesn't account for that. I remember breaking up with the first girl I was in a relationship with, and I couldn't believe how she went from liking me one day to not being able to stand my guts the next day. I found it completely fascinating. I was baffled by it for a very long time. But then once I got over that and I understood it, then I could apply that to all my other relationships. So I had one devastating blow, which was the breakup of my first relationship, and we're only together a couple of weeks. If we were together, who knows? So, because there's many different, they come up with many different tiers. You've got seeing each other but not exclusive. You've got friends with benefits and one night stands. You've got boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, all that kind of stuff. They layer it, and there's like a hierarchy of different labels they come up with how to suck dick.
Yeah, Hypergamy really
Hypergamy doesn't care about those words you said at your wedding.
Yeah, those marriage vows don't really mean much, and that's why a lot of people have prenups.
Hypergamy doesn't care about how you funded her going back to college to find a more rewarding career.
Yeah, you can support somebody in their ventures, and like you can see where this is going. All the good stuff, historical stuff that you've done means nothing. Who you are as a person, reality doesn't matter. That's what I learned in the family court, is reality does not matter. Evidence does not matter. Reality is not applicable to this situation. All that matters is how she feels now. And what tends to happen is they go from loving you to hating you, and then retrospectively think that you're always a dickhead in the first place. And what's fascinating is not only do women kind of go through this transformation where they go from loving you to hating you for usually no reason at all other than the fact that they want something different. What happens is society supports that, because everything kind of like in the same way like the queen ant or the queen bee, everything kind of revolves around that. It's very fascinating how it works.
Hypergamy doesn't care how great a guy you are for adopting the children she had with other men.
There you go, right?
I'm lucky I never had that situation, but I know some people who have like raised children, and then when it came to like an important situation where, you know, there needed to be a blood transfusion or an organ donation, oh, sorry, you can't do it. You're not actually the father. That's and that's what all Jeremy Kyle and was it Murray or Moray or whatever, or Jerry Springer in the US or whatever it is, all they are is paternity tests.
Hypergamy doesn't care about your divine and forgiving nature in excusing her youthful indiscretions.
Shout out to Sam.
Yep, you can't let shit slide.
Shout out to Sam Bottom, man.
Hypergamy doesn't care about your magnanimity in assuming responsibility for her student loans and
Oh, I like that word, magnanimity. I can't even pronounce it. Very good word.
and credit card debt after you're married. Hypergamy doesn't care if he was your best friend.
Oh, that's harsh, but it's true. Nobody cares. Like, and this is why I say it a lot, is like nobody cares. And it's sort of like, you know, if you're not having success with women, nobody cares. It's very cruel. Like, if a girl is having trouble getting hold of a guy, she'll have a lot of accommodation in like people trying to find suitors for her. Like, nobody tries with guys.
Hypergamy doesn't care about the coffee in bed you bring her or how great a cook you are.
Yep, all those meals mean nothing. If you're a good boyfriend, you'll always do more for your girlfriend than what she'll do for you. And you'll probably never see a return on your investment. They're kind of in every single way a liability. Emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. So to get into a relationship is almost kind of like showing off your ability to be able to lose everything.
Hypergamy doesn't care about all those chick flicks you sat through with her and claim to like.
The Notebook.
I actually do like the chick flicks. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I like the chick flicks. I don't care if Hypergamy doesn't care. They're still good to me.
Hypergamy doesn't care about how well you do your part of the household chores.
Well, if you've been reading Jordan Peterson, you should be making your own bed anyway.
Hypergamy doesn't care about how much her family or friends like you.
Yep, no one else's opinion matters. Like, it really does depend on exclusively on how she feels. There is no logic, there is no rationale. There is only what she feels in this moment right now.
You.
That's true.
Hypergamy doesn't care if you think you're a good guy or about how convincing your argument is for your sense of honor.
That's true, bro.
Yeah, again, arguments in general don't really matter. You know, you can argue the point all day long, but being right doesn't really matter.
Hypergamy doesn't care whether the children are biologically yours or not. Hypergamy doesn't care if she was drunk, he was cute, and one thing led to another. Hypergamy doesn't care how sweet, funny, or intellectual you are.
It's true, bro.
Hypergamy doesn't care if you never saw it coming.
We got it. It doesn't care.
Hypergamy doesn't care if you're bitter.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Fucking dickheads. That's like if a woman was on her period and I'd be like, oh, you're bleeding everywhere. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? It's nature. It's life.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other comment I want to make was I'm a 20-year public speaker, and it was honestly humbling. Like, your guys'
I was walking since I was 6 months old, and I forget when I started speaking, but yeah, I'm 37 now, so I've been speaking for about 36 years. Hello, my name is Doug, and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at another Fresh and Fit video. This one's called No Chick Will Ever Tell You This. Well, they might not ever tell you it because it may not be true. But let's not judge a book by its cover. Let's get into the video.
This is what no chick is going to tell you. I'm going to break this down for y'all.
What the fuck was that noise?
Whether women want to accept it or not, they know deep down their value is 1000% derived from the way they look. I'm going to say that one more time for you guys, all right?
Well, that's a load of bullshit, isn't it?
Because I know I might have...
That fucking noise, it pissed me off. What's with the noise? Is that meant to make his... Like, that's like a stopping sound, isn't it? Is that meant to make his point more profound? If he was saying something profound, he wouldn't need a load of sound effects to spice it up.
Because I know I might have some feminists or some other career women that might, that's not true, baby, that's not true. Okay.
In the other video, he's doing an impression of a seal.
For you guys to sit there and say, you guys are just leveraging clout.
This one, he sounds to be doing an impression of a chicken.
Hello and welcome back to the Chicken Pen. Today we're going to be talking about chicken language. Everyone knows that hens cluck and cockles crow, but there's a lot more to it. Everyone knows that cockles are noisy, but laying hens are too. They are very vocal when they've laid an egg.
When I listen to Marvin Gaines, it's very difficult to know how much of this shit that he comes out with he believes, because some of it has some truth to it, and some of it he may believe. I believe that he's saying some of it may be for clickbait. That would make more sense to me, because you can't really go around in life but really believing this crap. It's a bit like when I listen to a feminist, all I can hear is cliches. A feminist, I don't even need to meet them because they're a walking cliche. I already know what they believe in because they believe in feminism. So I don't need to have a conversation with them. So it's kind of like they're not even in the room with me. I already know the script that's going to come out their fucking mouth. And it's the same with this Fresh and Fit stuff, but with clickbait. I know that whatever they're going to say is going to be clickbait, and it's aimed at getting attention and views. So I know that they're going to say the most controversial things. A bit like, you know, what Jerry Springer used to do back in the 90s. Sort of like where they pick out the most outlandish stories and put them out there and get their Jerry beads and all that kind of bullshit just to get viewers. And it kind of feels like that. And it may have started off with some good intentions to try and help men. Whereas now, by the looks of it, it just seems like a very desperate need to get attention. Very much like a lot of the women do. So on the one hand, you've got a load of girls desperate to get attention, and now you've got a load of boys desperate to get attention.
1000% derived from the way they look. I'm going to say that one more time for you guys, all right? Because I know I might have some feminists or some other career women that might, that's not true, baby, that's not true. Okay. Women's value is 100% determined by the way that they look. Okay.
Well, I'm definitely not a feminist, and I'm definitely not a career woman. I identify as a male, and I'm a fucking man, and I'm saying it's a load of bullshit. When you approach a girl, Yes, obviously something has got to attract you to her. It may be her beauty, it may be her ass, it may be her tits. The standard man that's attracted to a woman is obviously attracted by a visual element, and that's the predominant factor that first gets his attention. But it's not the only thing.
Their value is 1000% derived from the way they look.
You also need a woman that's honest. You also need a woman that's trustworthy. You need a woman that you can respect and who can respect you. These have got to be two-way things. These are all very important things in a relationship so that you don't get divorce raped, you don't get me too'd, she doesn't cheat on you. Like, these is very important characteristics to look for in a quality woman, and to discard all that and to say, oh, well, no, actually, it's just, I'm only going to judge you based on your looks.
Their value is 1000% derived from the way they look.
That may be true for this guy, but it's not true for me. And I know it's not true for a lot of other men, because there's men that have a higher screening process than just what somebody looks like. It really is like saying, oh, well, that's a good film just by judging the film poster. How the hell do you know? You haven't even seen the trailer.
Women's value is 100% determined by the way that they look, okay? That is their primary agency. Everything else comes after, okay? So women know deep down that their looks define their value.
You see, this is the thing that he does, is he'll say one outlandish thing and then he'll say another outlandish thing, which is the complete opposite. And then when you question him about the one outlandish thing that he says, oh, well, no, if you go back, I also said this. So what he's doing is, when I listen to this guy, I don't hear a philosophy. I don't hear a solution. All I hear are a series of problems in order to get clickbait.
Their value is 1000% derived from the way they look. I'm going to say that one more time for you guys, all right? Women's value is 100% determined by the way that they look, okay? That is their primary agency. Everything.
All that comes out of his mouth is a load of provocative, extremist statements. There's nothing in here that is a philosophy. If you look at all of my videos, I've got the common philosophy. My philosophy is honesty, trust, and respect. I don't care if a girl's good looking or bad looking. If I don't trust her, I'm not going to be around her because I believe that she's dangerous. You should only be around people that you trust. And I would say the same thing to women as well. Don't be around men that you don't trust because they could harm you in very severe ways. And men can get harmed in very severe ways because people and human beings can be very malicious sometimes. So you have to be around people that you feel safe and secure around. So you can relax and have fun with them and be yourself and not feel any threat. That feeling where you feel really comfortable with somebody and really safe and secure and yet excited and intrigued at the same time. That feeling is a feeling. It's not a look. It's not an amount of money in the bank account.
Women's value is 100% determined by the way that they look, okay? That is their primary agency.
It's kind of like if you had a girl come on and say, oh, well, men are only worth the money that's in their bank account and everything else is secondary. It's like, it's a load of bullshit. To judge women primarily on looks and to judge men primarily on status or money is ridiculous. You see, what I think what he's done is he's probably had a lot of superficial, superfluous people that he's encountered, and instead of being above all that and getting somebody that's better than that, he's stooped down to their level, and now that he's saying that, oh yeah, you need to do that too. And I don't think that's the way to behave.
Their looks define their value.
Heaven forbid, if anything happened to my girlfriend, my daughter, my mother, my grandmother, my sister, if they were in an accident and they had a severe, anything happen to their appearance, I would still love them just as much. It makes no fucking difference.
Deep down, that their looks define their value. There's a reason why they take care of what, you know, they wear makeup, they wear their hair down, whatever it is, they wear sexy.
The reason why that they do all that is because they don't feel like they're good enough. The women that I've dated very rarely put on makeup or high heels or fancy clothes and all that kind of stuff. I really like to date genuinely beautiful girls so that when they wake up first thing in the morning, they look exactly the same as they did the night before. There's no makeup, there's no hair extensions, there's no mascara. They really do have beautiful hair. They really do have beautiful eyes. They really are a beautiful person. You see, because the other thing as well is if you're saying that it's all looks, then you're saying that character doesn't matter at all. Well, again, that's a load of bullshit because there's a lot of women that pretend to be nice that will screw you over in many different ways. And you have to be very cautious of those women. But if you're just going to ignore all that and look at the icon, essentially, of what a woman is, instead of everything that's behind that icon when you click on it, it's ridiculous.
It is, they wear sexy dresses when they go out, whatever it is, and why the makeup industry, regardless of how bad the economy is doing, never goes down. Also,
There's a book called Propaganda by Edward Bernays, and it's worth checking out, because what that does, that goes into all the psychology that goes into making people feel as though they're not good enough, so that they'll go out and buy a load of shit that they don't need. And that's what women do. They're not made to feel good enough, and then they go out and buy a load of shit that they don't need and stick it on their face and look like clowns, and it's a load of bullshit. But they're doing it because they're competing with other women, whereas if they felt good enough and they didn't need to compete with other women, they wouldn't be putting on the shitty makeup.
Goes down. Also, hair salons, nail salons, clothing stores, etc. There's a reason why women are 80% of the consumer base, and they spend a lot of their expendable income on making themselves look better. Why? Because they know that their value is determined by the way they look.
No, they know that one metric of value is determined by how they look. But it's one metric. It's not the only metric. All right, here's an example for you. Let's say you go out to a nightclub and you get this beautiful girl, and she comes back and she is stunning. She's the most amazing girl that you've ever, 10 out of 10, whatever the fuck, yeah? Even without makeup, with all the bullshit and all that kind of stuff. And she's just fucking stunning, okay? And you've slept with her. Well, now what? What are you going to do now? After you've told all your mates and bragged about it and showed a photo of her to everyone, what are you going to do then? What, go on to the next one? Like, people are more than just their appearance. They're more than just goals to achieve. You are wasting a woman's time and devaluing her if you're spending time with her just to sleep with her. Because really, if somebody's worth fucking, they're worth fucking more than once, I would have thought. Well, now you're looking into relationship territory.
Why? Because they know that their value is determined by the way they look. Now that we know what a woman's value comes from.
I don't like the sound of his voice. He sounds very much like Eric Cartman from South Park.
I would never let a woman kick my ass. If she tried anything, I'd be like, hey, you get your bitch ass back in the kitchen and make me some pie. Just say, hey, women, you shut your mouth and make babies.
Women's value is 100% determined by the way that they look.
Women ever gave me crap, I'd say, hey, you gotta do my laundry. Sit down, kid! Yes, ma'am.
A woman's value comes from. Let's talk about why attention is so goddamn important to them. The reason why attention is so goddamn important to them, guys, is because for the female sexual strategy to work, aka getting the best guy that she can get, she needs to be able to validify that she's doing the work, right? That the work that she's doing is going to lead to a good outcome. And she does that by propping herself up, becoming as sexy as she can be, and seeing how much attention she can get from men, okay? And that right there makes her have a sense of happiness. It validates her. It makes her, it helps her appease her ego, and it gives her a rough indicator of where she stands in the sexual marketplace. Now,
I've just listened to all that, and I still don't know anything new. He's just telling me what is obvious. Like, how does that relate back to the fact that you should only judge women based on how they look, and that should be the prime factor, and that behavior shouldn't play a role?
Now, unfortunately for you, unfortunately for you guys, in 2021, what's happened is, since we live in a globalized sexual marketplace, right? Women get attention from men all over the fucking world now. So
yeah, like on Instagram. Again, he's not saying anything new here.
Now, so a girl that's a 6, right, is gonna feel like she's an 8 or a 9 because.
Well, especially if she puts makeup on and a load of filters. Yes. What is he saying here? What's his point? It's like me saying, oh, this phone case is black. This phone case is black, and the wall there, that's white. I'm like, yeah. So fucking what?
She's getting so many DMs. She's getting so many thirsty comments. She's getting so many requests, etc., and opportunities from potential suitors that she's going to have a certain sense of self-worth. Now, the thing is, guys, is that women literally cannot operate unless they're getting attention. They can't. They need constant.
Women can't operate unless they're getting attention.
Validation and constant reaffirmation.
But isn't that what he's doing? Isn't this just a projection? Because this whole YouTube Fresh and Fit, Maureen Gaines and CEO and all that kind of stuff, isn't that set up just to get attention for them, for him, through people liking the video and subscribing to the video? So he's trying to garner attention by getting loads of subscribers and then converting those subscribers into money. Well, how is that different to what the women are doing?
That what they're doing and the effort that they're putting into looking a certain way is going somewhere, that they're able to get attention from men.
There's a reason why.
But again, in the other video that I watched, he was saying about going to the gym and you need to be the full package and you need to do this, that, and the other to get a woman's attention.
I won't go into details, but all I'm gonna say is you gotta be the complete package, guys. You gotta have your money right, be in shape, be confident, you know, be attractive overall. Because the thing is, if you lack in one thing, what's gonna happen is that weakness will come and bite you in the ass later. And not.
Well, that's not true. Instead of being a man, you're just trying to use a female strategy. It doesn't make sense.
You look at like social media usage, women outnumber men on Instagram.
Yes, and men outnumber women on YouTube. You know, I mean, that's why they spend so much time on their thumbnails, to attract attention and put outlandish things on the title, like this one. So how is that like not different to trying to get male attention? So how are these women different to you? I don't get it.
Why? Because Instagram is a picture app, right? It's a visual app, and women understand that their beauty and the visuals is what defines them. So that's why they're constantly putting you know, attractive pictures of themselves on the internet, putting sexy pictures up, sexy stories, whatever, showing their life, all this other stuff.
Or like these guys are on so many different social media apps because they're trying to garner attention from anywhere they can get it.
All this other stuff. And if you look at any somewhat attractive girl, guys, the picture that she puts on Instagram is like one of like 50, and she's edited it, photoshopped it, made it look really good, etc.
Like you've done with this video.
So that she could put her best foot forward, and then she can get the attention from the guys. So attention is female currency, guys. It is how they exist.
No, attention isn't female currency, it's human currency, because consciousness is fundamental and the currency of consciousness is attention. So that's why it's so important to us. It's important to men, it's important to women, it's important to children, it's important to animals. You know, if you don't pay a dog attention, that's how you get to train it, through positive reinforcement and taking your attention away when it misbehaves. It's important to everyone. It's important for anything that's living, that has a consciousness, because consciousness is fundamental. Women aren't excluded in this little bubble where they're just doing everything for attention. Everybody's doing everything for attention. So why single them out?
Guys, it is how they exist. It is their oxygen. They need constant validation from the opposite gender.
And if you're just being stereotypical, where you're saying that women want attention and men want sex, well, sex is just a concentrated form of attention. When you're having sex with somebody, you're really giving them essentially your full attention.
To ensure that they still got it and that they're attractive, because a woman's worth is based on the way that she looks, and she consistently needs validation and reaffirmation that she's doing the work and looks good, and that is shown through a male attention, guys.
Attention is human currency, and it's not just restricted to humans, it's across other species as well. Now, all you guys watching this video, like and subscribe so that Myron can feel validated by you. I mean, what he said in that video is just so ridiculous. Think of all the great men in history. Do you think they would say something like this? Think about Gandhi, think about Martin Luther King, and I don't think that any one of them would just say, yeah, women are just good for their looks.
This is what no chick is going to tell you. I'm going to break this down for y'all. Whether women want to accept it or not, they know deep down their value is 1000% derived from the way they look. I'm going to say that one more time for you guys, all right? Because I know.
If you're a decent person, you'll attract a decent person. If you're not a decent person, you'll attract a non-decent person. So you get what you're worth, and it's not based on extrinsic value, it's based on intrinsic human value. So he's called that video Women's Biggest Insecurity. But I really believe that's his biggest insecurity. He's so concerned about how things look to other people. You know, so all this just sounds like a projection. And now it's a shame because there is some element of truth in what it is that he's saying. It's just that it's been blown out of all proportion in order to get some views or clicks or whatever, so to get him attention. There is no aligned philosophy there amongst all that. These guys have become very popular very quick. And they haven't really aligned a philosophy as a brand, even as a brand, like, let alone as a man. Like, you need a philosophy as a brand, and you need a philosophy as an individual human being in order to make your way through the world. And I think that he needs to just align all his thoughts, feelings and ideas that he's got, because at the moment he's all over the place. Mine personally is based on honesty, trust and respect. And if I give you that and if I receive that, then we don't have a problem and anything's possible. I think the issue that Morin is having is that he knows all this stuff and he's been listening to a lot, and he doesn't have any prioritizing order to put stuff in. It's just like a complete mess. He can't see the wood through the trees. So he's just regurgitating and repeating what other people say. And he doesn't really, every time I listen to a video of Morin Gaines, I never get to find out who he is. I never get to know about him. All I hear is a bunch of cliches. It's no different to listening to a feminist. I could literally read something like The Rational Male and just regurgitate everything that he said. When I listen to him, it's just like a collection of ideas from other great thinkers. There's nothing there of him that he's taken this thought, taken that thought, and put them together. And this is what I'm saying. When I listen to Morin Gaines, he's saying the right things, but it's just in the wrong order. It doesn't make sense. It's listening to Morin Gaines is like looking at a puzzle with all the pieces in the wrong place and they don't fit together. He's got all the pieces that he needs. It's just that they're not in the right order and it doesn't make up a picture. And so I think it's going to take him a bit of time in order for him to develop his own philosophy. It might even take a big downfall for him to collapse his thinking and bring it back up again and make a logical sequence of events. I think the reason why I'm frustrated listening to him is because it's so naive and shallow and basic. It's basic level thinking. There's no richness to his thinking. There's no integrated thought. He's saying these things, but he hasn't integrated the knowledge. So I think he needs to go out and get a lot more experience and to humble himself a bit in order to implement everything that he's learned into something that is succinct and is a strategy for him going forward in the world. So that's my reaction to that video. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Morin Gaines' TikTok videos. Let's get into them.
Alright guys, why you gotta pay on the first date. So when you meet a girl for the first time, the reason why you gotta pay is because it's going to say a couple of things about you. Number one, it's going to show that you're decisive.
Yeah, so if I invite someone out for a drink, I'll pay. Just because I invited you out. Just because that's how I do things. And so that's the reason why I do it. Not because what it says about me.
It's going to show that you're decisive, you're a leader, and then number three, they have expendable income. Whether girls want to admit it or not, if a girl has to pull out her own credit card and pay on a first date, she's going to be repulsed by you, okay? Because it shows a lack of security on your end. And it shows a little bit of a lack of the ability to take leadership and ownership, right? So when you go on a first date with a girl, pay, guys. Just keep the investment low so that if it doesn't work out, you're not pissed off that you spent, you know, 20, 50 bucks on drinks or coffee, whatever it may be.
So I agree with him on that, but for kind of the opposite reasons. I would do that because I want to do that, not because of how it's coming across to her, if that makes sense.
Okay guys, this is why you don't want to take girls out on dinner dates for the first date. The reason why is because more than likely, especially if you take her somewhere nice, you're going to invest a substantial amount of money, and if you don't like the girl, you're going to have to sit there, wait for the check to come, etc.
Well, I don't like going out on dinner dates anyway, so that's why I wouldn't do it. I prefer meeting up for a drink.
And if you don't like the girl, you're going to have to sit there, wait for the check to come, etc. So you always want to take a girl out on a date, either for drinks, coffee, something low investment where you can see if you even like her in the first place before you start investing that kind of time or money into a girl. And here's the other problem.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you start going on like 3 or 4 dates a day, then it soon adds up. You know, you're buying drinks all day long. It's a lot cheaper than buying meals all day long, because essentially dating is a networking event, and you've got a budget for networking in the same way you would a business. But more than the money thing, you only have a finite amount of time. So like for the first date, you really want it to be quite quick, just in case you don't get on or anything, especially if you've met online through online dating. You might not kind of click or have the chemistry, so you're kind of wasting your time there for no reason. So you want to kind of get in, get to know each other a bit, and then get out again. So I think about maybe 20 minutes is a good amount of time if, you know, you're not really that into someone, but just to be polite and have a drink and say hello and get to know each other and then make a move. And if you're really getting on well, stay for 45 minutes. So get a second drink.
When you invest money into a girl in the beginning before she even knows you, she's going to lose respect for you. And what's going to happen is she's going to realize that you're a mark and that she's going to leverage sex against you. How to get a girl to chase.
Well, again, I don't think it's just so much the money, it's more to do with the time. You don't want to be wasting time. If you're into somebody, you don't want to be wasting time with them if they're not into you in return. And it only takes someone a few seconds to figure out if they're into someone or not. You're going on a date because you want an intimate relationship, not because you need another friend. So if she's not into you, then there's no point in you guys hanging out.
How to get a girl to chase. Guys, open up your iPhone and leave read receipts on. You need these women to know that you looked at the message and you're just not going to respond. Especially if
That's assuming that she already has your number and that you have hers.
Especially if she says something stupid. Let her question what she did wrong and let the hamster wheel work for you. Your biggest weapon as a man in 2020 and beyond is a woman's imagination. Don't be stupid.
I don't think that necessarily makes a girl chase you.
All right, guys, how to date multiple girls at the same time. Simply put, don't see them more than one time per week, maybe 2 times at most if she's going to travel to you. And what you got to do is you got to stagger them, okay, so they don't find out about each other. But the point is you need to date multiple girls because that's exactly what girls do with guys. Just like
It's not juggling. It's not that difficult. Like, I mean, you have more than one friend at one time, don't you? You have more than one mate at one time. You have more than one family member at one time. So why should the women that you're dating be any different?
And what you got to do is you got to stagger them, okay, so they don't find out about each other.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that's. I think you should be honest in a relationship, especially if you're being intimate with somebody.
Because that's exactly what girls do with guys, just that they're way more covert about it, and guys don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of things that girls do, but just because girls do it doesn't mean to say you have to do it as a man. You know, you should date multiple girls if you want to, and if you don't want to, then don't. Girls sit down to pee on the toilet, but it doesn't mean to say that I have to.
And guys don't get it. So don't be stupid, date multiple girls so you don't have a scarcity mindset.
Guys, get out there and do the work. Find us on YouTube, Monday to Thursday, 6 p.m., Fresh and Fit Podcast on YouTube.
For more gems like this, peace.
Hey guys, how to go for the kiss. Simply put, all you need to do is when you go on a date, make sure you're building up tension sexually by holding her hand crossing the street. Make sure when you're next to her, you're standing down next to her very closely. And also as well, when you're standing up, give her a twirl, look in her eyes, and if she's looking at you directly, go for the kiss. And for the most part,
Give her a kiss after a twirl. She might be a little bit dizzy.
when you go for the kiss, if she says no, it's fine. Try again later on. And that's how you go for the kiss.
Whatever you do, don't ask her to kiss her, guys. Girls just want you to get it, all right?
Oh my God, it's got quite a few rules on how to kiss, blimey. Usually when I first meet somebody, I'll give them a hug and a kiss on the side of the cheek just so they feel comfortable interacting with me. It's just a social gesture that friends do it with each other. It's just so that people get comfortable with you touching and being that close to them. But more than that, it's just because I want to.
The #1 trait to be good with women in 2020 and beyond. You need to treat women as expendable commodities. Yeah, I said it. Let me tell you guys something. When girls flake on...
Expendable commodities.
You need to treat women as expendable commodities. Yeah, I said it. Let me tell you guys, when girls flake on you, leave you unseen, don't respond to your texts, stand you up, curve you...
Or when they're rude, yeah.
Why is that? Well, it's because women naturally treat men as expendable commodities. They're going off the highest bidder.
Some women are. Some women do use men as commodities, you know, and some women are gold diggers and such. But it doesn't mean to say that all women are and that you should treat all women the same and that you should treat all women as commodities, expendable commodities. And it's individual women that do that. It's not women in general.
Men need to adopt that same mindset to be successful in dating in the modern age. Remember this, guys. Men are taught, be a man, do what's right. Women are taught, do what's right for you, girl. You need to adopt the same mindset.
Well, I agree that you've got to do what's right for you, but you've also got to be a nice person and do what's right for the other person. And that comes with making sure that you're the most important person in the relationship and being as honest as you can with the other person. But all these kind of like treating people as expendable commodities and you have to do this because girls do it to guys, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that's right. Again, because it's kind of like, it's a bit like with children. It's sort of like, well, I'm going to do it because she did it. It's kind of like, really? If you respect yourself, then you don't have to worry about how you're coming across or how you're treating somebody else because you'll just be treating them how you'd like to be treated. And if a girl, you know, stands you up or whatever, or treats you as an expendable commodity, then don't spend any time with her, because you wouldn't treat somebody like that. So why would you tolerate it from anyone else?
All right, guys, this is why you should never be vulnerable to your girl. Quite frankly, women aren't equipped to deal with the problems that men deal with. Women live in a different world than men are judged on their performance and what we create. women are ill-equipped to advise you on this. Instead of complaining about your problems to your girl, complain to other men that know the same struggles that you.
Well, I think you should be able to be vulnerable and talk about your issues to the person that you're in an intimate relationship with, but you've just got to be very careful about who you decide to be vulnerable in front of, because the whole nature of being vulnerable is that they can take advantage of it. The same is true for men. Like, men don't know women's struggles. Like, women have to have a period every month. They have to contend with potentially dying in childbirth. They have to deal with a lot of shit as well. They get judged constantly by how they look, and they can't be as sexually flirtatious as they like without everyone hitting on them or being slut-shamed. So, men and women both have difficulties, but if you're in an intimate relationship, you can talk to your partner about your difficulties, because that helps build trust. So, again, I agree. Don't be vulnerable with everybody, but learn who you can trust and be vulnerable with them.
You're dealing with, because men can help other men with their problem. When a girl tells you, hey, let's rain check or reschedule, you simply respond, hey, that's cool, but I'm not really a fan of flaky girls.
Well, this depends because you see the way that he's wording that. I mean, if my girlfriend said that, it's not a problem. Yeah, if she's got to reschedule, she's got to reschedule. That's not an issue. We do whatever's best for each other. But if it's a girl that you're going out on a date with for the first time and she flakes, then it's a different issue completely, because you're not in a relationship, you don't know each other. So you don't know who the other person is when you're dating them for the first time. So it's very vague and elusive. Our girl is different to your girl.
If we go out, you're going to pay for drinks or dinner or whatever plan you guys had. Because the reality is this, with women, when they give you undesirable behavior, you need to punish it so she knows it's not acceptable.
Well, I don't think you need to punish bad behaviour, you just don't have to reward it. So you only reward good behaviour and you ignore bad behaviour and you just walk away from it. You don't need to punish anybody.
Because if you take her back and take her on a date, after she did some BS like that, she's gonna think it's okay. Don't reinforce bad behavior with positive treatment, okay?
Well, she might have had a good reason to not be able to turn up to the date. So, and you're gonna punish her now with getting her to pay for things. It doesn't make sense. And, especially if it's a first date, I thought the advice earlier was that you should pay on the first date. So this doesn't really kind of make sense. What his advice is essentially is to put yourself in the provider frame, whereby I'm going to pay for stuff unless you flake, and then you have to pay for stuff. You have to be the provider, and that's your punishment. It doesn't make sense to me.
When a girl tells you, hey, let's rain check or reschedule, you simply respond, hey, that's cool, but I'm not really a fan of flaky girls.
If I'm going on a date with somebody for the first time and they flake, it's not cool. I don't want to meet them again. I don't want to spend any time with them. It's not about punishing them. I just don't want to have them in my life. I ain't got time for flaky people. I agree with some of what he's saying, and the other stuff I don't necessarily agree with because I don't understand his philosophy. And again, it's very much based on how you're coming across to the girl, instead of who you are as a man and expressing that because it's authentic and genuine. I understand that there are women that take advantage of men, but just because they do that, it doesn't mean to say that you should flip the script and take advantage of them in return. And I think these TikTok videos got banned because it was very hard to get hold of them. And that's probably because he said that women are expendable commodities that you should punish. I honestly think that you should treat everybody based on how your interaction is with them, not based on what women or what a girl is in general. Very interesting videos. I don't agree with everything. I agree with some of it. So, yeah. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Owen Cook, aka Tyler from RSD on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Let's get into the video.
We're happy to have you here, man. You're a legend. And here's the thing. We know who you are, Owen.
Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself to people that might not know who you are?
Yep.
Introduce yourself.
My truck is going,
is
idling outside.
Let the people know who you are, bro. Because we know, but we want them to know as well.
Well, so I was a guy who grew up with light autism. Where is that the camera right there?
Yeah, that's the camera right there.
Okay, so
Fresh, can you bring the mic a little bit closer to
okay,
me?
Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I grew up kind of like what you call Asperger's, and so to deal with that, I went out to nightclubs for almost 20 years. I often say 4 days a week. My voice even blown out right now from going out, but I often say 4 days a week because I don't want people to copy me and do what I really did. But I often would go out all afternoon and all night, going out and just meeting people for almost 2 decades. And I did that.
I did that as a magician. I was an entertainer, a magician, and I'd go out and I'd meet like groups of people, and that's all I did. That's what I got paid to do for several years. So again, and there is a beautiful freedom about that. Once you get into this whole, pickup space and, dating and all that kind of stuff, you realise that there's a lot of people that have a lot of fear and insecurity around just approaching people. But when it's part of your job, you just kind of do it naturally anyway.
Decades. And I did that as a way to learn how to get out of my social fog that I was in. And, in the process of that, I work my way up into hot Hollywood parties. I've got a crib in the Hollywood Hills myself. I do a lot of parties there. So I've just seen a lot of stuff. And
yeah, the same is true. Like when I go and do parties, I get hired to go along and network and stuff like that. That's why I never understood why people paid for networking events, because I got paid to go to events to do networking. So it was kind of a strange thing. But yeah, it's true. Like you end up in all sorts of weird situations and meet very interesting and sometimes famous people.
You just see a lot, so it's cool to see people breaking that down. Something that you guys didn't go into, and maybe you've gone into it in other podcasts, but like something that you'll talk about is the female imperative. And so that's the way that I interpret that. And I think there's many ways you can interpret, just so my take on it is the idea of collectivism, to where people kind of unconsciously collectively adopt a certain set of ideas as sort of a way to protect the collective in a way, right? And I think collectivism can be a beautiful thing. I'm not against all forms of collectivism, but unfortunately collectivism can also be exploited to take down society.
It is. That's why feminism was invented. Feminism was invented for the destruction of the family home, and it was immersed and embedded into the family court system. Get rid of the father and replace it with the school and the state.
You can take people that are really struggling and you can turn people against each other. And a lot of what you guys are talking.
Yeah, because there's money in conflict. I mean, that's why referring back to the family court stuff, it's not just in the UK or Australia or it's America, it's everywhere. So it's sort of like, and it is designed to destroy people's relationships and their lives in order to profit and keep that conflict going.
About her, is really the downfall of society. And it's really terrifying. And in 2020, we've really seen this. It's
with the scamdemic, the old what do they call it, because you're not allowed to say it. You see, you can't even talk about it. You can't even talk about it. Oh, my video might get taken down because of it's terrible.
It's it's like whatever it is that you reap in life is a result of the seeds that you're planting. And socially, we've been planting a lot of really bad seeds for the past 20 years, or maybe.
Well, we haven't been doing it so much. It's kind of been instilled upon us in the same way, like you could say that like glyphosate gets into the water system. Like we haven't done it. There's industries that have done it, caused irreparable damage in our ecosystem because it profits them short term.
Or maybe more, and some good seeds too. It's not all bad. A lot of good stuff too, but there's a lot of bad ones. And now it's getting to the point where the kind of conversations that you guys are having, like some people might look at the conversation that you guys are having here and be like, oh, well, why are they saying that stuff? And like at a certain level, it could look like, oh, like a bunch of guys getting together trying to get laid or things like that. But like it's literally trying to save guys' lives from suicide. And this is something that is not talked about.
Well, I think Rollo Tomasi also talks about this as well. Jordan Peterson definitely does. And there are two other guys that are in the same kind of area. And I think I've spoke about on this channel. Oh yeah, they had Andrew Tate and his brother the other day, and they were talking about this as well.
Is people that are being talked off the ledge, because we don't tend to think of guys as having a high suicide rate. I know you've actually addressed that in your books and things like
several
that.
times.
Yeah, several times. But it's not something that like people don't realize. Like a guy like myself, when I was in that social fog and just feeling an inherent sense of wrongness and not understanding the way that things are, well, that wasn't something that made me mad. That was something that empowered me to go and take action so that I could get a better result, so that I could sit on the other side of it and kind of, sympathetically look at people and be like, oh, that's too bad that they don't get that. So
you need to find a way out of your suffering, because you can suffer very deeply, and it's important to be able to get through it or get over it somehow. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I make these videos, and hopefully that people find them helpful, because I'm going to delve into a lot of uncomfortable issues, but they're everyday issues that people find themselves in. And I think a lot of it is just knowing that it's not your fault. So stop blaming yourself. Realise that it's a system or your circumstances that are kind of like keeping you where you're at, and you can always change the system or your circumstances in which you find yourself.
The main key, if I'm somebody who's taking this in, is to realize that there are larger social agendas. I mean, I just came back from a meeting with people who were in the previous administration's State Department. So, I hear things at a lot of different levels. Like I hear things from the top. I've been kind of lucky. Like I've worked with people in big tech. I've worked with people in all different industries. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching and that kind of stuff, people that are successful. So I hear the different sides of these things. And, a lot of what's happened, including in 2020 and with a lot of pretty crazy stuff that we can't really get into here for reasons that I'm sure you're aware. This is part of a larger agenda that is meant to really rip people apart. And
I agree 100%. Like he's talking around the issue, but I know exactly what he's saying. I believe I do. Because, yeah, it's obvious to anyone that is taking the red pill and is aware of what's going on.
And so it's just, it's sad. It's funny because I actually enjoy all humor, so I enjoy it. But it's also sad. And we've got...
Well, the thing is, it's so absurd, and you can cry at the absurdity or you can find a way of laughing at it in order to emotionally deal with the catastrophe that's impending and is currently happening.
Sad. And we've got to get our stuff together socially, or we're going to be in really, really big trouble. And
again, referring to Andrew Tate and his war room, I think that that's what he's trying to do there. But, and there are other groups and networks and mastermind groups and all that kind of stuff. And you can have grassroots movements and things, but really, it's a David versus Goliath thing. And yeah, you can win, but at what cost?
If your audience doesn't see the bigger picture of 2020, they need to wake up, and so, and this is going to go off the rails. So I actually spent
yeah, I believe this is just the beginning.
Past year pretty much, and you guys are going to laugh at this. So after years and years of like Hollywood parties and this stuff, so I'm used to being like, I live in LA and I do parties and I go to my friends' parties, we go to nightclubs. I couldn't do that, right? So, imagine me, I run a seminars company, I run an 8-figure seminars company, and all of a sudden I can't do seminars and I can't go out to bars and clubs. So like my whole life is like ruined. It's like, I hate this.
Oh, well. That's the thing, is that it takes years and years to build something, whether it's a company or a brand or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Years and years to build something, and just moments to destroy it by something from the outside. It's very difficult to become anti-fragile to what life throws at you.
I'm super frustrated. So what I did instead was I went out into the forest for almost a year and a half now. So I've literally been to almost every national park, all through the forest. I drove it. I actually wanted to get more, like, I know it's kind of whatever, but I'm 42, I'm getting up there. I want to be a little bit more connected to the land, get connected to the country, like understand what's out there.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I think we're so disconnected from nature and we're disconnected from our instincts. So we lack a capacity to be able to understand ourselves and proceed forward in the world.
And I just went into nature and just worked on making new videos. And
nature is, I think I heard this from a Rocky film. I think Mickey said it to Rocky in Rocky 5 or something. Nature is smarter than people think. And when I heard that, it's always kind of stuck with me. And, we have science and all that, and it's been very, revolutionary what we've done with science. But, it's just a methodology, a species-specific methodology of trying to understand some part of the world that we exist in. But that's all it is. Nature is much smarter than people think. We don't see reality. We don't see objective reality. We only see fitness. We only see fitness functions from our subjective viewpoint.
And going a little bit deeper and kind of reflecting on the past 20 years of experience and, work like what you guys are doing or work like what you're doing, and learning from that as well as my own experience, and kind of combining that and thinking a lot about the bigger social picture. So like, even if maybe we have some future conversations, we could even talk about the bigger picture or be very solutions oriented, or, look at like what's happening and like how damaging this is. But also, because we have the internet can put a lot of negative propaganda out there, but it can also get good voices out there too. Although frankly, they'll silence them in some cases. But if we, can do that in a way that makes sense, we could talk about solution orientation and things like that. And I think that's going to be pretty important going forward.
He's speaking very vaguely here. I don't exactly know what he's talking about. I know what he was talking about earlier. I don't know if he's still talking about the same thing now, or whether he's talking about a combination of different things. It's very vague what he's saying.
forward. Like,
Okay.
you know, yeah.
Oh, fantastic, man. I mean, yo, this is awesome, man. Yeah, where else are you guys going to
Where do
see,
you get
you know,
this?
some legends at the table like this, man? We
Yeah,
got
bro.
Rollo Tommaso, we got Owen Cook, brought two parties together. That this is like, you know, 40.
And what's interesting seeing Rollo and Tyler together is because Rollo is kind of like typifies the kind of red pill. You know, he kind of like did a lot to contribute the promotion of that, which is kind of like the theory. And then Tyler's done a lot of work and dedicated a lot of his life, Owen, to you know, the game aspect of it. So you got the theory in the game, the education and the experience. So it's a good unification of, you know, to make a good talk. And you got the two guys at the front here, which you know, I don't always speak too fondly of, but at the same time, you know, they've created this space where these two guys can get together and have a chat.
Yeah, you know,
fun.
so one of the things that we learn from going out every day is that you get better socially. Like if you're out all the time, you get more confident to initiate conversations. You become funnier, you become more playful, you become more cocky in a funny way and all that kind of stuff. You get better at handling logistics. So what I
Myron Gaines doesn't seem to have adopted that too much. He's like holding a gun behind his back when people come around and chat to him about some business dealings they feel that they've been let down on, and bad mouthing people. So yeah. And girls are always walking off. They're doing this thing where they're always chucking girls out. So there's a lot of unnecessary drama that's created.
insanely powerful speakers. I'm obsessed with public speaking. I'm like a seminar junkie. I go to every seminar I can. I love public speaking. I do public speaking.
I prefer private speaking. I prefer intimacy. I prefer talking with loved ones and family and friends over public speaking.
So seeing you guys doing that and just seeing the evolution of the setup here, like, I don't know if people at home realize how much work, like, think of how many hours a day you spend thinking about this, or how much you guys spend thinking about this, or making a presentation like this, and balancing the books and finding, like, you know, because people look at us and yeah, we've had success, but they don't realize just the amount of work and having a team.
Yeah, it's very easy to criticize Fresh and Fit, and I've done it before in terms of their conduct and some of what they're saying I don't agree with, but with their whole setup and what they've accomplished and the marketing that they've done and the hours that they put in and all the shit that they have to deal with, you know, I do respect them on that level. Whether I agree with them or not, whether I think they're morally or ethical right or not, they're grafters. They're really putting their all into this podcast thing that they've got going on, and it's very difficult to get success. So you know, I respect them when it comes to that. Hello, my name is Doug, and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at a video called The Wage Gap Explained, a short by Fresh and Fit. Let's get into the video.
It's incredible. I can't tell you how many women have come on this podcast and actually believe in the wage gap myth based on sexism. The wage gap exists because of choice, not sexism.
Yeah, I always keep hearing about the wage gap thing and all that, and I've looked into it a little bit. I don't know a huge amount about it. A good book to look at is by Warren Farrell, Why Men Earn More, and he stipulates 25 reasons as to why men get paid more than women, and that's essentially what creates the wage gap. And I think the reason why he wrote it, I may be wrong about this, but I think the reason why he wrote it was to help his daughter get better quality pay. for the jobs that she decided to do. So that's why he decided to investigate it. Before we even get into the whole sexism thing, like, to me, it's obvious that it's not based so much on sexism, why people get paid more. It's based on age. You know, like over here in the UK, the younger you are, the less you're going to earn per hour as a minimum wage. It's based on age, not sex. So if you're in a job and you're a woman and you're 25 years old, you're going to be on more income than a guy that goes in that's 18 years old per hour, minimum wage. So that's how the government have set it up, based on age, not on sex. So I don't get why the feminists have hijacked this and come up with the gender pay gap as opposed to the age pay gap. So that's just an observation of mine from the outside that no one seems to recognise, even though it's startlingly obvious to everyone when you think about it. If you're going to say that governments and companies discriminate on something, use age, don't use sex. It's more obvious.
Not sexism. The reality is this: the wage gap is nothing more than taking full-time working men, full-time working women, median wages, and comparing them. And when you do that, you find out men make $1 for every 80 cents a woman makes.
Yeah, but you see, the other thing you've got to take into account is like lifestyle choices. Like, women have children. Childbirth is a huge thing. So let's say a woman gets a career as a solicitor and she wants to be high up in a company. Well, let's say she leaves college and then she goes to university and then she starts at a law firm and all this kind of stuff. Like, she's now in her mid-20s by the time that she gets her foot on the ladder and starting to climb it. By the time she's 30 and she gets promoted to be partner, let's say, if she's done really successfully, well, she's 30 years old and she wants to find a guy and settle down and have children, but she spent all her 20s trying to build this career, trying to compete with men that really don't care about her. Like, a company will not care for you, will not love you in the same way that a family will. A family is a much better investment. I have had a job whereby I did what I wanted for a living. I was a magician. I earned good money. I did really well. And I had a great lifestyle. It was brilliant. And I've also had 3 children and I've been a stay-at-home father. So I've done all the kind of, like, you know, pursue your dream and do what you want to do in life and got paid for doing it and had a great lifestyle as a result. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I've also been a stay-at-home father and had a sick child as well that I had to look after 24/7. And I would say by far the most rewarding thing is being a father, is being a parent. The career meant absolutely nothing to me. When I got to where I wanted to be, I realised that it was an illusion, there was nothing there. And when I had children, I didn't realise how life-changing it was going to be. Having a family that loves you is a much more better investment of your time, money, energy in your life than trying to find a career where you could just be easily replaced as soon as you drop down dead and nobody cares about you. So I do prefer family over career, but that's just my personal preference from my personal experiences based on the personality that I am. But that's not everybody, and I appreciate that. But if you're a man or a woman going out into the world, you want to make a decision. You only have a finite amount of time on this planet. And, you know, there's very few people that have a career that they actually enjoy. Most people slave away to make money doing jobs that they wouldn't ordinarily choose to do. That's why the jobs pay so much. So you just want to be very careful about your life choices. And the grass always does look greener, but it's not necessarily always greener, and there's a price to everything. So when you think somebody's in a better position than you are, they're probably having to deal with a load of stuff that you don't have to deal with. But putting all that aside for a second, that's my own little rant and my own little kind of injection of my own experiences. Let's get into the actual subject of the wage gap.
However, they don't account for degrees held, careers worked, the danger of the job, the type of job, hours worked, time taken off, overtime. They don't account for any of that. The reality is this: the top 10 paying jobs are male dominated.
Yeah, they're male dominated because women don't want to do them. What female wants to be a bricklayer? I mean, you can't, there's nothing to stop you. There's no men trying to stop a woman from becoming a bricklayer. It's just that they don't find it fulfilling. They don't want to do it. They're not motivated to do it. There might be the odd one or two that are, and I'm sure they're fantastic bricklayers. But, you know, there's nothing stopping them. There's no patriarchy preventing them from going out and building the greatest houses in the world and getting one brick and laying it down and getting the next one and measuring it all up. But they don't want to be out in the cold, in the rain, doing that all throughout the winter. So
top 10 paying jobs are male dominated. science, technology, engineering, and math.
STEM.
STEM. The top 10 jobs that pay the least are female dominated. Anything involving social work, teachers, etc.
Men prefer to work more with things, and women tend to prefer to work more with people. So that's why women tend to go for more care jobs, and men go to do stuff to do with the science, technology, and engineering and math, like he's saying about.
It's not that men make more money because they have balls. It's that men make more money because men decide to go into jobs.
Gotcha, bitch.
So I just want to elaborate a bit more on what Maureen Gaines is saying here, based on the work of Warren Farrell and the book that he wrote, Why Men Earn More. So if you're a woman watching this and you would like to earn more, then you can follow these instructions, and if you do them, then you'll probably end up in a job that pays a lot more. People get paid on their capacity of earning. Choose a field in technology or the hard sciences, not the arts or social sciences. So pharmaceutical versus literature. Get hazardous pay without the hazards. So take the Air Force, for example. If you have a female administrator, she's going to make less money than a male combat soldier in the army. You can make more money in extreme weather conditions. So for example, if you're working in the snow or sleet or in the heat, then indoors and neat. So for example, a FedEx delivery driver is going to make more money than a receptionist working for FedEx. You will make more money in jobs where you can't check out at 5 p.m. So for example, a corporate attorney versus a librarian. Fields with higher pay often have lower fulfillment, so an engineer is a less fulfilling job than a childcare professional. Choose fields with higher financial and emotional risks, so a venture capitalist versus a supermarket cashier. So, I mean, that in itself is a big thing. If you start your own business and you have your own company, that's completely different to working for somebody else, because you get to sell your value for money based on your services and your products, not your time for money. When you're working for someone, you're often selling your time for money. So you're always going to be restricted by time because you've only got so much time in a week to sell. Higher pay requires working the worst shifts during the worst hours. You will earn more by working in unpleasant environments, for example, a prison guard versus a restaurant hostess. You'll make more where there's updating pays. Choose your speciality's more lucrative subfields, a surgeon versus a psychiatrist. So for example, again, going back to my own career, I could have gone out and worked in the corporate industry and earned thousands of pounds doing corporate trade shows, or I could have done weddings for a few £100s. So the weddings would have been local, within an hour's drive from my home, so I could get back for my children in the evening. It was at the weekends, so I didn't have to work during the week. There were so many things. I enjoyed it more. People were more relaxed and chilled out and having a drink and a laugh. I much preferred doing weddings to doing corporate, where I felt the environment was very sterile and I didn't relate to anyone, and I found it very fulfilling, and it took ages to chase up the money, and whereas I got paid on the day when I did the weddings. So it really does depend. So even within that field, I'm worth more based on which industry I choose to sell my services to, even though I'm doing the same card tricks. So to some extent, you get to determine your own value based on your negotiation skills. Also, people work more hours, have more years of experience, have years of recent uninterrupted experience, work more weeks during the year, are absent less often from work, commute to jobs that are further away, relocate especially to undesirable locations at the company's behest, travel extensively on the job, take on different responsibilities, bring in business. That's a huge one. If you're really good at sales and marketing, you can make a lot of money. Take on bigger responsibilities, require less security, get more relevant training, have higher career goals to begin with, do more in-depth job searches. If you're doing all these things, you haven't got time for a social life because the job doesn't allow for it. And you've also got to consider, when you're doing all these jobs, you're competing in industries that are based on competence. They don't care about your sex. They care about whether you can do the job or not. If you're a heart surgeon and you turn up to do a job, they're not just going to give you the job because you're female. You need to be qualified. You need to have experience. You need to be able to travel. You need to be able to withstand the sight of blood. You need to be able to keep your calm and cool under pressure. There's so many things that need to occur. And I think a lot of the time people want the outcome and the reward, and they don't want the work and the lifestyle that's necessary to attain it. And that's the bigger problem. So I think if you shift away from your entitlements and your rights to earn more, and look at your responsibilities and your opportunities to earn more and take advantage of those and look at yourself and think about how you can make yourself more valuable to somebody, then you stand a better chance of making more money if that's really what you want to do. But everything has a price, and you have to decide that if you really want to sacrifice your life to earn a bit more cash. So I hope that shined a bit of light on the old gender wage gap. It's a load of rubbish. Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm looking at Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, what every man in their 20s must know about women. Let's get into the video.
All right, guys, biggest piece of advice for young men. Be patient.
Be patient for what?
You are going to come to your prime later on in life.
Is that true that prime comes later on in life? I thought prime was prime. In your prime. No?
When you're 21 and the girls are 21, they're at their prime, you're at your lowest, okay? But when you become...
I don't think I was at my lowest at 21. I think I was doing quite well. Even when I was 23, I was doing really well for myself. So I don't know... I was living the life of my dreams. I don't know why I would say that.
But when you become 35 and those girls are 35, you're at your prime and they're at their lowest, okay? The tables turn as you get older.
Well, if you go on Tinder and Bumble and all those kind of things, there's a lot of women that are 35 and over that are able to date a lot of men. So even if they're not in their prime, they can still do much better than most guys.
Okay? The tables turn as you get older. It's just tough to see it sometimes.
Well, it does if you're successful, but if you're not successful, things just deteriorate and get worse.
Don't worry. Time makes you better.
No, you making yourself better makes you better.
You need to work on yourself, get your money on point, get in shape, and learn game, okay?
The only winning move is not to play the game, which is what I always say on here. It's an expression I heard from War Games and was popularised by Patrice O'Neill. And it's the best game advice I can offer, which is don't play the game. Don't have game. Don't worry about having game. Just be honest. Money, well, you need money just as a necessity in order to live and survive, but you don't need it for a romantic partner. You may need it for a family if you're going to decide to have children, but you don't need it to buy women as such, so money is not as important. And yeah, as long as you're relatively healthy, you don't need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you just need to not be completely obese, and you'll be alright. An average person, you'll be fine.
Things that make a man attractive take time to acquire. You must create your value. Women are born with value, okay?
Well, I think we're all inherently valuable. I think certain men can acquire gravitas over time, but that's not true of all men.
We don't play by the same set of rules. Be patient.
But that's why I have honesty, trust and respect as a way of gauging who to interact with and who not to, so that you all do obey by the same set of rules. It's like, I don't care how good looking a girl is. If she's not honest, trustworthy or respectful, I'm not going to spend any time with her. The same is true of men. I hold them all to the same account in terms of behaviour. So the people that are in my circle, in my world, in my life, are honest, legit people. And so in that way, you can hold everybody to the same standard based on behaviour instead of looks. And I think what's happening a lot is they're basing it so much on sexual market value and not giving weight to anything else. And I think that's where a lot of the problems come in, because everything's surface level and how things look to other people as opposed to how things genuinely are. So I think a substance is more important than appearances. And if you do have substance, then that will come across. So all this stuff about your time will come, it's not necessarily true. There's no reason why you can't be living your best life now at any age. You could take someone like Michael Jackson. He did quite well in his early 20s. Didn't do too well in later life though, did he? So it all depends on the individual. You can acquire success at any age. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing, Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.